But you're so supreme. I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else. Crime is the way I fly to you. I'm still in a tree, snake eater.
Welcome to a Delco Nerd Network podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Ragucci, and this is Replay, Relive, or Experience, or as we like to call it, Re3s, where you guessed it, we do all three of those things to our favorite video game franchises. In this edition of Re3, we'll be replaying, reliving, and re-experiencing Hideo Kojima's Metal Gear Solid C3 Snake Eater in anticipation for the Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta remake. Here to support me on Operation Snake Eater, we have our mission analyst back again, the triple threat, Chris Trio.
Gooch, I don't have anything pithy to say, so I'm just going to use Snake's voice. How are you?
Metal Gear.
Metal Gear.
Shagohod.
All the things.
Metal Gear. And of course, our weapon expert in the middle, Fred Hassel.
Hi.
That was better than mine.
The SpongeBob.
yeah.
Hi, how are you?
Hey.
How are you?
Hi, how are you?
You're like smooth SpongeBob. Like
Right.
So, somebody was talking to me about that. He's like, you know the smooth SpongeBob? I'm like, hi, how are you?
Yeah, I think,
He's like,
I think we were talking because I was talking about
Yeah.
Spider-Man. I was like, Peter Parker's like smooth SpongeBob. Like, he's like, hey, how's it going?
Anyway, we're not here to talk about the sponge of the Bob variety, but we are here to talk about some Metal Gear. Shout out to Fingers. Of course, the intros and outros are great.
Fantastic.
We appreciate his contribution to the podcast, as always. I do have a correction from last week. You probably know this, but like tangentially, like in the moment, didn't correct me. I'm correcting myself. So I mentioned that the composer of MGS3 was Harry Gregson Williams. That is correct. He is a composer, but he's not the main composer. The main composer is Noriko Hibino. He does the actual so Gregson Williams does the opening. He does the rest of
Like
the
the
song.
Snake Eater song?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
Yeah. And
Like the game music.
Like the score,
The
almost.
OST.
Yeah, yeah.
The score. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Somebody would have ripped me apart for that.
No, it's okay.
So,
I'm
we're
glad
getting
you-
ahead of it.
I'm glad you got
Relax.
ahead
It's not that
Relax, all
deep.
right.
Take back your comment. How
It's
about
not
that?
that deep.
Stop typing out your comment. Leave it alone.
Just stop. Everyone stand down.
There's
All right.
enough minutia in the series that I really don't care who made the music. I just like the music. I like the music. The story's deep enough. That's
There
it.
you go.
So let's jump right into it. It's 1 week later, gentlemen. If you remember Virtuous Mission, Snake failed to retrieve Sokolov. The boss defected. Volgan shoots an American-made nuclear missile into OKB, not zero. It's an OKB base.
Like, isn't it
Whatever.
740?
Sokolov's old base, right?
Yeah.
078 or whatever.
You know, with an American-made
the
missile.
Davy Crockett.
So shit is going down. It's
Quick.
It's August 30th,
So,
1964. Yeah.
quick sidebar. Sokolov. I did not think about this. I don't know
Dishonored?
if they were. I didn't know. Was that a reference? I'm curious.
I
I'd love
don't
to look
know.
that up.
It's a-
That-
I think
I guess
it's
it's a probably common
yeah.
Russian name or whatever. But
I don't know.
I don't know why it was. It was a random thought
Let's
I had.
put the APB out on the Russian people.
Sokolov.
Any
But,
Sokolovs over
It's
there?
Sokolov common.
If you're a
Sokolov, what's
Sokolov
going on? How many
watching-
Sokolovs are there? But I'm sorry, Gooch. Please continue.
No, it's all right. It's all right. So we get a debriefing of post Virtuous Mission from LBJ and Khrushchev. They're having a conversation about, what had just transpired. And they more or less have one is asking the questions and LBJ's going, yeah, that happened.
That would be correct. Yes, we do know.
Yeah, that would be correct. And he's
Right.
and like Khrushchev is like, you guys really fucked
You guys
up.
need to figure
You
this out,
fucked me
or
over.
something's gonna happen. He's like, well, what's gonna happen? And then they're like,
Nuclear war. Yeah, so that's like a 10-minute cutscene, and that's really all that happens. But
Great
I do love it. It is very interesting.
You just summed up about many of these cutscenes. I feel like in the way of there's a lot of it, but we can kind of sum it up in 2 minutes here. I
Yeah.
do love how
a lot
into
of
like
detail. Not unnecessarily so, but
No.
they're long in the tooth.
I would argue there is some that's probably unnecessary, but it's his style, and that's I
Yeah.
don't care. But
Yeah.
even like the moments like where he's explaining like the grip in the mid cutscene, he's like, I cut it down to blah 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 blah.
We're going to
blah,
talk
blah.
about the gun
It's so,
point.
but yeah,
We're going to talk about
it
the
is
gun
hilarious.
point. Yeah, so and then we kind of cut back to Snake and Zero basically having the same exact conversation.
Yeah.
And the idea is, hey, okay,
Don't fuck up this
America,
time,
you
please.
guys fucked up. You're gonna get an opportunity to win your good graces back, so we don't
You got a
go
week
into,
or whatever,
into war.
right? Yeah.
You have a week. You're gonna.
Kill the boss.
They're gonna kill. Khrushchev wants America, the Fox unit, to kill the boss, but they are also gonna go in, rescue Sokolov again, and destroy the Shagohod.
Right.
So there's 2 objectives for America, and then the other thing, which is really the main objective, is killing the boss. That's like what's
Right.
hanging over
All of
the
it, yeah.
plot.
It's to prove that like it's basically to be able to tell the Russian people, right? Like, look, they did it, like
Hey,
this
she
happened,
did-
but
it wasn't
they took
us.
care of it. It was a defector.
It was a third party.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It was not Volgan, which would, erupt the Russian politics, and everyone
Right,
would be
right.
like, yeah, it's already messy. It could get messier. We're trying to avoid it.
Absolutely.
And yeah, the first objective we have is we're going to rendezvous with two other defectors, Adam and Eva. They're going to meet us in Tselinoyarsk, and
So you're only originally supposed to
help
meet
us.
Adam, right? Though, because you don't know about, because he shows up and he's like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
And I'm like,
It's-
"All right, Snake, it's okay." But it's
Eva
Adam is-
says that.
no, I thought Snake
This
said
is-
that to Ava. Or
Yes.
Eva. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
This part is a little tricky
Because you were
Fred, you feel like no, you were ready to jump in. It's
Oh,
okay.
no. I was just going to say, I think he says, "Are you Adam?" Isn't
Right,
what
that's
he
because
said?
he's expecting
The first
Adam.
thing he says is, "Are you
He's
Adam?"
also expecting.
and then he's
2
like,
men.
"A woman."
Yeah, he's expecting a man. Yeah, but that part is interesting. We'll talk more about that as we go on. It might be clear who Adam is. Like I don't know if it's obvious or
It's
not.
not to me.
Like
I will say,
we know.
Even
okay.
the whole Eva thing, actually, we'll get to it, but that caught me way off guard.
Yeah, no, it's
well done.
Yeah. So, okay, that's our first objective. We land, we're back. We take this, like, I don't know what the fuck it is. It's like a rocket.
like a low altitude. I don't know.
It like drops him in like a pod, almost like an escape pod type. It's
I thought you
not
were about
that.
to say skateboard.
No, like
yeah, luge.
and he's just like
luge boy.
yeah, like, basically almost
yeah,
like
yeah.
a
And they're very
rocket power
obvious.
luge.
They need to know he's there. They're leaving the rocket thing, and they're like,
Right.
like you have a call with Zero, and he's like, like, what are we gonna do with this thing? You guys gonna come get it?
Get
He's like,
outta
no,
here.
we're gonna leave it there because
Yeah.
then it proves that America is here doing something. So it's kind of like. Even though we know XOF is behind the scenes cleaning Snake's shit up,
right
which we'll
behind him.
talk about, like
That's
maybe literally cleaning Snake's shit up.
No DNA.
The idea is like they need to know that he was there.
right, yeah, because they need to be able to prove to the Russian people too and stuff like that. It's all what's the word I'm looking for? Geopolitics,
Yeah.
geopolitical
Yeah,
bullshit.
yeah.
Proving that
yeah.
America's trying to do something. They're getting
Right.
involved.
So we get on the ground and we learn that a new member of the team is joined to replace the boss as our like weapons person, and that person is Sigint.
Oh, I thought
Yo,
I thought it was Signet. I was
Sigint,
Sigint.
signal intelligence.
That's like
what it stands
the
for.
famous decoctions. It's just a dyslexic thing that I just kept going with. I was like Signet.
They don't really. They probably say his name a little bit.
Well, you
here
can
and
just
there.
read it. I'm like, I
Yeah,
was
but
reading.
like that's like in
Sigint,
Kingdom
Sigint.
Hearts where you see like or calcum.
Yeah.
Like how do you know how to say that? Like nobody does.
Or a chinchouchum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then it's
And then
in
all
Sky-
the X's.
and it's
Yeah.
yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
what's even happening here?
yeah.
Organization 13 with all the X's. Yep.
There's also when we get on the ground, Zero says something interesting. I mean, he talks about the tunnel thing that we talked about.
Right.
I think at this point, right, in a codec call, and he also the code phrase for Adam is "Who are the Patriots?" And the-
Who are the Patriots?
and that's a thing from
Big,
MGS
big.
2.
right.
Not so
MGS.
much MGS 3, but the Patriots.
MGS 4.
I know we already
you
went
should-
over
big.
You might remember the Patriots from MGS 5. Or the
are they
idea-
like just like they weren't the ghost people, right?
No, they're not.
yeah. Honestly,
I'm
it's
not gonna
so
go
far back.
I'm not
now.
gonna. I'm not gonna go into.
It's
it.
so
Yeah,
funny.
yeah.
I will say, just on a side note, playing this has made me really want to play MGS5
5
just because
again.
it's like
Hold
so,
off, buddy,
I know
hold
I
off.
am. I'm going to, but
Fucking rein that horse in. And speaking of horses, we progress a little further from our crash site, and we hear a neigh. And if you call Zero, he's like, "Was that a horse?" And yes, that was a horse. And in fact, it is the boss's horse. The boss
white
is
horse.
already out here ready. It's like we're just talking about her. You think you're maybe not going to see her to the end? Nah, she
She's right
shows
there.
that
up.
was funny. Yeah.
And she puts Snake on his ass again, disarms him, throws away his gun.
He had his bandana on. And
Yeah, has the bandana. Does she comment on that?
She does. She's
Yeah.
like, you can't let go of the past or something.
Something
you can tell
along
by
those
the,
lines.
There's
by
no
this.
reason for you to be virtuous here. Yeah. And go home, go back to your boss. And then she pulls out her what is called the Patriot. It's like an M16 with no stock, double-barreled clip, and the bullets rotate out like
because the barrel's too small.
That's real.
It's an MX.
That can happen.
It's an XM16 modified with no stock. It's just a buffer tube.
Yeah.
Because I think if you ask Sig, you could
I see.
call
it's
Sig
a
and
new
he
game
says
plus
it.
weapon. You can get
And the barrel's like cut to length, and rifles when they're too small, the barrels will. They call it keyholing or tumbling, whatever. But that's
the
what it
bullets
does.
just
It's
twist
just
on
tumbling.
there.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, so it is a real concept, which is interesting. And she
And-
lays into that thing and blows
New game.
it up.
New
Oh,
Game
okay.
Plus.
Now I'm remembering. Yeah, because I remember seeing the bullets just like
And New Game Plus, they talk about how it has infinite ammo. It's good.
Because it has an infinity symbol on the clip.
Because the drum is
gosh.
in an infinity sign. Yep.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, that just makes
That makes
that's
sense.
like the if you pick up the glow cap mushroom, Snake calls paramedic, and he's like, he either says it to her or she says it to him, and she's like, no, wait, like what? It
recharges
your battery, and she goes to Sagan, and they're like talking in the background, and he's like, yeah, I mean, if that's what he wants to believe, you know, like just yeah, sure.
There were some good moments where I chuckled on the calls. I was trying to use the call more off the codec more often.
The calls are funny.
Yeah.
It's just so there's so much.
The
Exactly,
pacing
you could
of them is weird, and you never really know when you have one. Like, it's not like they call you
Yeah,
all the
like
time.
paramedic, I feel like is the only one that you can know because you're like,
You
oh,
pick
you have a
something
new
up.
thing. Yeah.
I mean, for Sagan, it's the same thing. Equip the gun and
Yeah.
or the
He'll talk.
device, and he'll talk about it. Yeah,
Right.
the camos he repeats a lot.
just so-
the black camo.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's just so the what's it called? Like the like what to get them to trigger to say certain things. Like the items, yeah, you put them on, but
Sure.
they'll say things about like the environment.
I was gonna say
too.
sometimes it
Yeah.
is different. Like it won't even be pertaining.
Eva's role.
It has very specific flags,
Yeah.
and it's like
Yeah,
sometimes you
like
could
the
just-
horse.
Yeah.
Like you
For
hear the
sure.
horse neigh, and it's
Right.
like it's not necessarily obvious to like go to your codec
Yeah.
and like
Why is there a horse? Like,
You know what
Yeah.
that actually reminds me of a lot, and I guess this that did this, but in God, why am I forgetting the name? What's the horror game, Gooch? You pull up Outlast. You would. You
I
will get
was thinking Outlast,
you would get
ironically.
certain notes depending on if you had your camera up or
Oh.
not. So like if
Oh,
you were
yeah,
recording
yeah.
an event, like you would get a note and you'd write something out and you could read
Oh.
it. So that's I do like that idea
Okay.
a lot.
specific flags for the information to come out.
Exactly.
It's
so
a
like,
good
if,
idea.
yeah, you see like something exactly like
Yeah.
something pops up, you film that, and it would be like, I just saw this fucked up thing or something like that.
wow.
Yeah.
Horror.
I just saw a man fucking a dead body. Sorry,
great.
it's bad.
Yeah. Weird game. So the only other thing I didn't mention with the encounter, did you see the R1 prompt where you move the camera over and you see the sorrow?
Oh no.
It's quick, and you probably don't
You
know.
see,
to look.
is he in the rain and stuff? Yes, I did see
You
him.
see him again there. We'll get to him. Not this episode. So we progress a little bit, and we get back to the base that Sokolov's in, and we rendezvous with Adam, who is not Adam at all. It's a woman on a bike, and this is Eva. We are told. We are told
Who
this is
are the
Eva.
Patriots?
Yeah,
Now,
and she doesn't know what to say.
right,
to him.
exactly. She doesn't. She never answers, and that's a big thing. She
I
never.
noticed that.
Small detail, you might not think about,
She
but
takes the time to kill the. Who are are
Is
they
the Ocelot
Russian?
unit?
Yeah, it's
Unit?
either Ocelot.
I think
or
a unit, like,
Russians
rolls
or
in,
whatever.
right? Yeah.
Yeah,
and she
yeah.
kills them with the Chinese pistol. And
yeah, and she broom handles, which you can't do in real life, by the way.
But it looks damn cool.
Kojima
Very-
knows. Kojima likes it, so it's going in the game.
that's a blah, 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 broom handle. And
that's an imitation Luger. Yeah.
Chinese Remember that. That's an important detail.
Yeah.
It's a
it is.
Chinese reproduction. Detail.
Yeah. She does have some information and equipment for us. She basically just kind of tells us like the lowdown, like, hey, this is what you're going to do. This is how you're going to do it, sort of thing. Obviously, she's like the femme fatale of this game. When she starts off in her jumpsuit and she zips it down and she's just wearing a bra and like you can just stare at her boobs.
I was like, is this going to be
nice.
quiet? Like what? Because even her like things like
for all intents and purposes, yes.
Her like tights like. When she gets electrocuted the one time.
Interesting
looks
detail,
like,
right?
Yeah,
That they,
it looks like quiets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No,
Okay.
she's not quiet.
Oh yeah, but it was just funny. I
don't think I ever put that detail
I just
together.
know just because I was thinking about quiet and even like her she's basically wearing like a swimsuit underneath
Yeah.
like or something.
Yeah.
It's specifically shiny. And,
Yeah, exactly.
okay.
Yeah.
Interesting idea.
Yeah, and that's where we get the call about the M1911 that's customized, which we never really find out where that's from, other than like Eva being like, yeah, it was in like one of our stores.
Right.
It's like probably from like an American
An
officer.
officer. Yeah, some
Sure.
officers.
Yeah,
and, then he goes deep
I wish
into
I
it.
like knew that call, but like I know
He's got-
a ring hammer.
Yeah, it's got it. It's
It's filed down to the sliding handle's filed down to a mere sheen.
the
Snake's such a weeb. Sorry,
Yeah,
continue.
He,
No,
is,
it's like
he is a weeb.
well, I think I said this in the first episode, and I think this is really what I was thinking of is he's like a child. He's like a kid. He gets something and he's so excited about a
Yeah.
gun. Like,
Right, he's more
okay.
excited about the gun than the cigar and the hot girl
Right.
in front of
and
him.
then also like the food, he's like, does it taste good?
Yeah,
like that
right,
is a
right.
funny running joke.
It's very, I think, like I said, he's very childlike. He's very immature, and this whole thing is him becoming
sure,
a
growing
man,
up a bit.
his
yeah.
own. But he goes deep into that. The feed ramp is polished to a mere sheen.
Yeah,
the
that's a
bob,
feed
the,
ramp.
the bob hammer. It's
Yeah.
got slides
like,
to
oh,
raise
now-
it.
Snake.
I'm carving a groove in the butt of my gun so I can do CCC.
This game is.
I was
This
like,
game
what
is.
do you mean you can't hold the knife with the weapon?
Yeah.
Well, and so the knife can like fit in. So
we hate
and
groove,
nobody
I see.
else, mind you, really nobody knows what CQC is.
They developed it.
Yeah,
Well, and even she
Boss
talks at the
and,
one-
and
yeah.
Snake use it, and that's it.
She's
Nobody
like,
else.
it's a rudimentary form of close quarters combat or something like that.
Yeah, and then like, yeah, well, what is that judo?
yeah.
Ocelot and Volgan call it judo like 3 or 4
What is that,
times.
judo?
Yeah, what is that fucking
Judo.
shit? What are you doing?
I just like that Snake gets this gun that obviously he thinks is a holy grail, and the first thing he does to it is takes his knife to it and just fucks
just
up
fucks
the
with it,
grooves.
yeah.
He just puts a big groove.
This
in it
isn't
to hold
actually my favorite. Yeah.
His stupid knife. That's great.
And we get
Thanks.
the scientist outfit, and and we're like, hey, you have to go to, you have to go find Granted. What does she tell you to do?
You have to go to the facility to like, what do you find in there?
I know.
You talk to the general.
Right, I know,
Yeah.
I know what happens when you go there, but like you're not sent to go to Grannon.
It's
she
like a
doesn't-
smaller lab,
You just-
I thought.
it's just
the one that you
Groznyj
get
Grad.
sent to
She's
within like the end
You need
fight
to go to
too.
Groznyj Grad, but like you end up going there on the way.
It's
like
it's the
names
first,
were insane.
The first thing that Sokolov is at is Grannon or whatever.
oh no, I
Yeah.
have the name.
Right?
Hold on,
What was the name?
Hold on. It's in here.
Oh, no.
I wrote it. Where is it?
He's not going for Sokolov, is he? He's going for Anyway, we'll get to it. You go to one lab and then go to another lab.
That's you go to the one lab to talk to the one general,
Yeah.
who then gives you the key to go back to the warehouse to
go-
get to the other lab.
yeah.
And then
I'm actually annoyed. I thought I wrote it. It's Grant.
it ends in a way that I don't know how to
It's
say.
Gorky.
There's like a J on the end.
Grad.
It's Russian.
Yeah,
it's
something
Russian.
something like that. I thought I wrote
it's
it
fake
in here.
Russian.
Yeah, it is fake Russian.
Anywho.
Yeah,
anywho,
you
I'm
get
like-
to the general, right? Or like that's a lot. That's where the gameplay kind of kicks in really
yeah,
heavy,
this-
right? You're kind of making your way through the map.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm jumping out.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, I
More
don't know.
facility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stealth.
So,
I don't mean to jump. I'm just
No. Yeah.
jumping.
But
I'm saying where I'm at.
that is like where we're going. But
Yeah.
the main objective is we need to get to Groznyj Grad.
right.
But like we have some detours.
She lays out your path. Go this way.
Right. Here's your disguise. You'll need it. See ya.
You're gonna.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
And then that's where Ocelot shows up with the Ocelot unit. And he, he shows off that, hey, he listened to Snake's recommendation. He now has a revolver. It's a
Deeply engraved single action army.
right, yeah, deeply engraved, and that's where he tells him like, hey, like cool pistol, but like, dude, you don't like kill people with those things.
Engravings have no tactical advantage on the battlefield.
Yeah, and he says that in MGS5 to a soldier who's also using a grave gun.
Yeah.
He's like,
Classic.
Ocelot's so cool.
dude,
He's just so cool.
I like him in MGS5. He's really like smooth.
It
He's
is
like,
funny, like seeing him in MGF5 versus this. Like I
It's
didn't
different-
realize this is where he like came
He's like
from.
an
I thought
18-year-old
he was
twerp.
like maybe like someone he
I
had a
mean-
bit of a spat with, but not. I didn't realize he was this involved in the
Yeah,
story.
I mean, he's a villain. He's more of a villain in MGS1
Yeah,
And two.
and he's
Sure.
and 2.
Yeah.
So like,
Oh, so he- I
you get
didn't realize
introduced
that.
to him
Okay.
differently
This-
even in those
he's
games.
fully
he's fully.
he's
this
fully
is,
recognized.
This is when he first chronologically shows up.
Yes.
Right,
Right,
Ocelot
yeah.
is in every game.
He's in every
single
game,
one.
and he
Okay, all right.
arguably has the biggest deal in all of the games.
even
One of
though
the biggest
he's-
side characters in
Yeah.
in the series.
I mean, main character, but like
Sure,
his
yeah.
involvement in the story,
Yeah.
like even MGS1 is very secondary.
He's side. He's
Yeah.
he's side.
But
But
he-
two, he's
Interesting.
side.
But what he does
Yeah.
is like the
so people
grander.
didn't know where he had come from before this came out. Really, like,
Right, yeah.
it's
He was
just a bad-
This is the
Right.
yeah.
This
he's
is
a bad
just some dude named for a revolver Ocelot and
6 shots,
more than enough to kill anything that moves.
Yo, there you go.
Yeah.
But, okay. Yeah.
So now you're seeing where the revolver comes into it, where he
Right,
adopts
right.
this
he's
persona.
revolver.
Yeah, and he gets no, he doesn't get put on his ass. He
gets
has
hit.
Eva, and he thinks Eva's a dude. He gropes her, which is how he figures it out. And he's like, "You're a woman?" Yeah, and he's really put off by it. It's like he's not like doing it sexually. Like he just like did not.
He doesn't
know.
understand.
Right.
Like, he didn't,
What's going on?
He just didn't get it.
Yeah, and he's confused. He smells the perfume. That's something to note. And then
Is that when he gets hit with the motorcycle?
yes, that's
Yeah.
when he
Yeah.
gets hit in the face with the
When she-
motorcycle,
yeah.
and then
The track.
Snake
that
lets-
is funny.
Yeah, Snake lets him get away, and Eva's like, "What are you doing?" And there's a call about that. And he's like, "He's too young,
Yeah.
Yeah.
too young. Can't kill him. Like this, he's like too green. Like he doesn't. It's like he doesn't deserve it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
He's
because
saying he has time to learn. I guess is the idea.
You could tell he could tell he's not evil.
plot reasons.
Yeah.
You
Sure.
can't kill
Right.
him.
Don't kill him. Time paradox.
Yeah,
I like him. I don't know why, but I like.
I like this guy.
For story
Yeah.
purposes, I like him very much.
What was that first part? Nothing. I just like him a lot. That's
He's cute. So Eva's now available on codec. She'll give us information about the area and bosses. So yeah, she just gives us like background on like what these fake Russian words mean and like yada yada. And yeah, that's pretty much what she's there for. And
Cobras.
and to be a babe.
she constantly leaves the codec. Once we get into Panziolf, it's the area with the hover bikes. She leaves. She goes away.
Right.
So like,
Yeah.
if
Can't
you
call
like
her anymore.
constantly call her, yeah, there's parts,
There's
where,
parts
she's,
where she just won't be there.
she's
Yeah,
not-
it says
she's
offline or
unavailable.
whatever. Yeah.
yeah.
I did hit that once
and
or
it's
twice.
pretty obvious that like do you know who she is now?
Oh, I mean, yeah,
Well,
they
yeah.
give it away by the
Yeah.
end of that cutscene. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was actually
Oh,
like,
what?
I was like, oh,
So that's what
like
she's
that's
doing.
really good. I did not even see that coming. I don't know why.
Yeah, like obviously later.
It's funny
we're-
they're both
we're-
blonde chicks. Like I don't know how I didn't like when it did happen. I
Well,
was like,
Snake doesn't know either.
You're blonde.
yeah, I was like, you're blonde and you both have the same build, but
And
like the other girl looked
everyone
petite and
asks
nerdy.
about her.
Yeah,
Like Ocelot's
Who is
clearly
this
onto
lady?
her at one point, but
Yeah.
now we get a big gameplay segment. We can, at different points, there's the splitter camo, Gakko camo, snow face paint, croc cap.
Croc
Did you
cap.
find the croc
I
cap?
did not find the croc cap.
Yeah, the croc
Ignore
cap.
the first part.
Yeah, so you can hide from the alligators. It's like a big crocodile head.
Interesting.
The alligators in the guard. You could swim underneath, have it on, and the guards will think you're an alligator.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's genius.
And
I actually
then
love
we
that.
get to the Bolshaya
Bolshaya,
armory. That's the
yeah.
part with the copter. Did you blow up
Blow
the
it up.
helicopter?
No, I don't think I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you blow it up when you're on your way to Groznyj Grad, it changes that area because you have a call with Eva where
Is
she'll,
that the helicopter that's around while you're like getting up the side of the
Yeah,
up
mountain
the
or whatever?
mountain
Yeah,
when you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
yeah. So that wasn't there for me. So I
that was there
destroyed
for
it.
me. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, and then there's like the ammo shed where you can destroy their ammo reserves and their food, dude. it's so annoying when they're hungry and they just keep saying they're hungry. I'm hungry. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
I didn't know you could do this stuff. No, that's
If
interesting.
you put like a C4 down, I think any
You
explosion
get
will work. but-
you get like TNT in that area, and you can do the helicopter.
Is it like
and you
in
can
a
do
little shed or something?
Yeah, it's like a little outhouse.
I went in
And
there
you
and
go
I
in there-
picked up a bunch of stuff and then I just left.
If you blow
I
it
didn't
up-
know I could blow it up.
Yeah.
Oh,
It'll
interesting.
all have everything will have
Because I was
effects.
wondering why I had to go in that area. I was like, this is like a weird little side area. Why did I had to go back and go the other way? And then I was
Yeah.
like, oh. It was right before the end fight, right? Like the end of fight. Yeah.
What, the ammo shed we're talking about?
Yeah.
No, they're all over the place.
Oh,
You could just keep doing it.
interesting.
There's
I didn't
many
know
of
that.
them.
Blowing
There's
them up.
many of them. So
okay.
for that
Alright.
area, we're talking about the one at this armory with the helicopter.
It's like the
see.
little building
Okay.
with the beds, the helicopter, and then there's a
Right.
medical thing and an ammo shed or a food shed and
and the
whatever.
trenches.
Yeah.
That
love it.
area is,
Raindrop
I think, like
camera.
probably the one of the hard, like the first hard area you get to,
Sure.
where it's like very open, very big. There's a lot of fucking guys.
A lot of people
Guy
you gotta
here, guy
watch
there.
out for. Yeah, and it's funny. Like I was not about the slow methodical movement of crawling, but the more I'm playing with it, the more I'm like okay, I see what they're trying to go for here.
So yeah, that was going to be my next question. Are you going like full bore, or are you trying to
Some
do as
areas
stealthy as you can?
I've been trying to do as stealthy as I can. There were once or twice last night where I'm like, fuck this, I'm just running through because I need to get. It was
Yeah.
in the end fight when I had to keep going back to because I kept getting killed, and he just drops you in the lab, and then you have to make your way back to the thing. But no, overall, I mean, dude, I think the AI is very good for its day. And I think the stealth mechanics themselves work very well. You know me, I love myself a good little stealth game.
And
These just don't exist anymore. These types of stealth games.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
really feel
it is really strange that the genre. I mean, it's almost, it's funny. I was watching a RoboCop video essay on the game, and like those immersive sims like Deus Ex and I guess RoboCop is really kind of like a Deus Ex like game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call Metal Gear like Deus Ex, but it has some like elements of like that immersive sim
Oh,
aspect.
absolutely.
Use
Especially
your-
with the eating and everything. Yeah.
Use your brain. The game doesn't tell you what you can do, what your capabilities are. But
I had one of those moments last night, and I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. Where I was like, "Oh, I didn't know you could do that."
yeah.
Like, "Oh, that's really cool," but I
Some
can't remember what it
crazy
was.
stuff.
But even like dragging bodies, I didn't know I could do for a bit.
shake up.
Yeah, there's
like
like there was a lot of stuff where I was like, "Oh fuck, I didn't even realize."
that was
mean,
one I forgot.
I mean,
Because
the
I
game,
was like,
the
you have to
game
mo-
doesn't really tell you how to do it. It's in codec calls
for sure.
but like I am curious. Like back in the day, like did you find this shit out from like talking to your friends about it? Like how's everyone finding out these mechanics? 'Cause,
Probably a
like,
bit of both.
You were supposed
Yeah.
to know from the other games, I assume.
Yeah,
Sure,
that is true.
The
A lot
onus
of
was
it-
much more on you.
A lot of it relies on your knowledge, but there are a lot of things particular to 3 that are trapped in 3.
Right.
Blowing up the food is very deep. For the guards, if you shoot them with a bullet and then shoot them with a bullet in like the leg or something, once the caution goes down, they'll sit down and bandage
patch it
themselves.
up.
Yeah,
That's
they'll
pretty cool.
bandage themselves up and walk back normal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot
Yeah.
of different little things that you can do.
Yeah, holding them up and like they'll remain. Like
That's like
hands
real
on there.
fidelity
So-
stuff. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of like glitches. This area, the first area with the hind sitting there is.
Is it a hind?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a hind
okay.
D, yep, I'm pretty sure. Whatever.
ID Colonel. What's a Russian gunship?
That's where
doing
I
here?
started using a lot of the different like glitches and mechanics.
Interesting.
If
Okay.
you knock a guy down and hold him up, he won't get back up. He'll
Yeah.
stay alive.
It's like a
but he will
permanent
not get up.
disable.
If you pull the pin on a grenade and hold it, your footsteps are silent.
Huh.
So you could just run right up. As long as you don't get seen, you can run right up to the
That's
guy.
funny,
So
yeah.
so personally, I'm playing on hard. And
Right.
this particular area, I was
Imagine
killing
that.
myself.
Yeah,
over.
all the time.
I was like, man, like I just kept resetting. And I'm like, either I'm gonna kill these guys or I'm gonna use all the tools in my my toolbox.
fuck it.
Because when you know where the boss fights are, you don't want to use tranquilizer bullets if you don't know where to get some.
Interesting.
to get
Okay,
some
well,
back.
I never use a trank for the boss fights. I didn't use a trank dart. What is that? Is that like an easier way to beat
It's a
them?
non-lethal.
Oh,
Non-lethal kills give you bonuses, right? You don't
Oh,
get
interesting.
anything for killing them normally. Like, what do you get? For
Depends. The
killing them normally? I've never
pain
done
you
it.
get is camo if you kill him normally, but like Ocelot, you get you get the animal print
Animal
camo.
print.
So like killing bosses,
non-lethally.
Yeah,
gives
and
you,
you get
something different.
You know how in
Interesting.
MGS5 you got code names at the end of messages? This applies to the entire game. So
Oh,
like at
okay.
the end of the game, and you know I'll make sure that you know to like take a screenshot. Like you'll get a rank.
Right, like a right. I remember
Yeah, and,
mentioning that
like
last
I'm
time.
curious how varied will be.
Mine's probably going to be low because there was a
Oh,
point
dude,
last
I've killed
night
a
where
lot
I
of
was,
fucking people.
I
There
killed
are
a lot
so
of people,
many,
and
yeah.
I just was getting seen, and I'm just like, I don't care, and
Yep.
just was like running through. Like,
There are so many, but there are so many different. there's
Exactly.
one-
yeah.
What's good is the game isn't. It's I know it's stealth focused, but it's not super punishing for messing up. Like
No,
you
it
can
definitely is.
easily make mistakes, and it's not like a big deal.
Yeah,
I was
it's like
gonna say
whatever.
that I was about to say earlier. That's one of my least favorite things about stealth games, but I get why that needs.
You're
to
still
be
learning,
like
though. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but even still, like I feel like stealth games, if they're made today, it always has to have that element of like, but you can go balls to the wall if you want, because people just.
I
they're
think-
not the biggest
Right,
fan, but-
people want to play like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Metal Gear thrives, and I think this one specifically thrives on multiple playthroughs
Absolutely.
and multiple. Once you accumulate all this knowledge, you do. That's what I did back in the day. You
Makes
play
sense.
a game on, you play one on European Extreme, and it's hard, but you have all these little tools and all these little,
little
mechanics
tricks of the
like,
trade. Yeah.
Like same thing I was telling Gooch with the box. When you're wearing the box, you could run up to a guy, and then you drop the box before you get alerted, and you can just grab him.
There was one part with the scientists that it's after you talk to the general. I'm like, how do you get past these scientists? That's it. I just throw in the box and just kind of slowly walk by.
Just
Like I was like, oh, this works. Like, and they're like,
yeah.
huh? And then that's it. Yeah.
They just say
who put
they-
this box
Yeah, they just say huh, and then
Yeah.
it's like there are other little mechanics here and there that really do help you. But yeah, I think that's where the game thrives. You can play multiple times with a tuxedo and this and that, but
There's a lot of choices
Yeah.
for sure. A lot
And
of
I mean,
options. Yeah.
To segue into the Revolver Ocelot fight, our first boss fight, there's a lot of way to go about those boss fights where you can kind of let Ocelot well, let's start with that cutscene. Like now he's dual single action army, no engravings. He knows how to twirl these fucking things. He's having a blast.
When he's fucking.
And he's like, "Don't interfere. Like,
It's
let us
so
do this.
good.
Like, you don't get it." Yeah,
it's
like,
a mano y mano.
that is mocapped by a
Interesting. Real.
famous Japanese. I guess he's a trick shooter.
Sure.
Gun,
named
yeah.
Tornado Yoshida, and he did all that. Like
Legal
for-
name, Tornado? No.
Yeah, legal name Tornado. No, that's his nickname. I forget his actual first name,
Oh,
but
gosh.
they call him Tornado.
That's
Yoshida.
hilarious.
But yeah, he's like a
Western,
A trick shotter.
Western
No, I think-
enthusiast.
yeah,
I've
like
seen that. I think that's a real term.
yeah,
trick
twirler.
shotter.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, that I would love to learn how to twirl a revolver.
It's hard. I have like a replica.
Also,
Especially with like a
Surprise.
full weight one, I could only imagine.
I have
Like,
one that's like full weight replica, shoots blanks, and man, like you could get the forward pretty
Yeah, but
easy.
I cannot-
The
yeah.
back is pretty hard.
I
and
forgot
then-
to mention when he's twirling the one back a little bit and he puts it in the wrong way and he flips
then
it
he's
around.
gotta flip it
and he's
back.
just like, "Dun,"
that
you
is a
see
good
that.
little. I didn't notice that.
But
That's
now
funny.
he's like, I think at this point, Ocelot's really like the personality is there.
Fine, it's shining through.
Yeah, no, is not changing from here on.
Yeah,
out.
this is
It
what it
changes
is.
a little
Yeah.
bit,
Right.
But with
This
the
is
boss
how he
fight
goes.
and
This
like,
is how he is.
Yep.
Yeah.
there's a reference to MGS1 when he's reloading and he gets the thrill of the excitement and he
Yeah.
gets faster and faster and faster reloading during that fight if you let him.
He's like,
Yeah.
I hear that. Yeah, he's like, the reloading is so much of a thrill, or something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can like drop the beehive on his head. You can go about this fight a lot of different ways. And
You
like
could grab this. There's a poisonous snake on the right side. You could
throw it.
trank it and throw it. You could do
interesting.
you could do everything.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
really can get deep.
And I think like for my first time through, I'm just kind of like fucking around and finding out like whatever happens. Like I'm definitely not non-lethaling this. I feel like if I was doing this, Dishonored 2 being that example of like a game that I went through that I like hated at the end of it because I like no kills, no alerts. Like I did so much to kind of
On
like
the hardest difficulty.
to constrict my experience. Like if I was doing that with MGS3, and I've seen it a ton of times, but
get
like
sour.
like now that I'm playing it and I'm experiencing it, it's like I don't feel like I've really watched this game at all. And like it's from the gameplay perspective, it is quite different to get your hands on. It's like, okay, like what can I do? How can I do it? And also,
It's
can
so-
I do it?
Yeah,
Right.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's just so free. You're so free. But me personally, I'm just going. I can't not go non-lethal.
Sure.
Knowing it's there, like
No, that's
Yeah,
funny knowing, yeah.
right. I feel
I just
ya.
I can't like knowing the camos, like not that it really matters, but just knowing. You
So
know?
they still live at the end of those then, or they die still?
No, they still die.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, they still
still
die. I mean,
explode. Yeah,
Ocelot
whatever.
doesn't get killed here.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Yeah,
But they
like
still-
the
they
pain,
still
and
do
yeah, they
that.
all
Yeah.
still
they all explode. Yep.
So yeah, you can shoot off his hat too. That's something you
I
do.
did that.
And he's like,
Yeah.
"Fuck, what is hat? What is he? He yells. He calls you like a fucking bitch. He's like a bitch. He says something.
He's
like
such a kid. He's so
he's like-
funny.
yeah, I know. Later he has a line where
It's like
where
two
he
children
calls Snake
fake
a
gun playing.
bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Calls them
Doesn't he say?
And there's a lot of codec calls from the entire crew here about like, hey, here's how you can fight him. Here's what you can do. And like, hey, like he's gonna reload. Like use that opportunity to get shots on him.
This boss fight is like compared to the rest of them. I think this one is very like a specific situation. They're all kind of like their own situations, but this one it's like he's here, you're here. He does this, you can do this.
Yeah.
You could lay in the grass the whole
It
time.
felt like that a little bit for me too with the bees, man. The pain.
Yeah.
The pain.
The pain.
Yeah, there's
but
not a
no,
lot to
I
do.
agree. 100%.
The
Each
pain
one has
feels
a scenario.
very specific. Like there's not. I feel like with that fight, like there's not much you can do.
There's like 3 things.
Yeah,
what I thought.
like
I'll get
it's
to-
very restrictive, but like that makes him a little more difficult, right? But before we get to the pain, we beat Ocelot. The bees come. We're fucking killing them with the
He
revolvers.
literally is like I thought that was hilarious.
And
it's just
all the soldiers are like
like
covered in
being
like
eaten alive. Yeah.
Right. We fall into the cave and we will make ourselves our way out of there. But there's a
Shotgun.
there's a shotgun down there. The glow caps, the night vision goggles, the torch. The vampire backhaul, which you find out Snake is scared of vampires.
Right.
You're not gonna tell me something about a Dracula movie, are you?
Like, like I'm scared. Don't talk to me about
I
that.
always dream about them. I don't like it.
We do find out there's a codec call. One of them is about Ocelot and how he has special treatment. Apparently, according to Eva, he was born on the battlefield. His mother has a snake-shaped scar, but he was raised by Gru and Volgan. And for all intents and purposes, that is true. I don't know about him being raised. I don't think we ever really get that like details, but like
Confirmed.
yeah, like, and it doesn't seem like him and Volgan really have like a
like a
rela-
relationship.
Like
beyond,
he's his CEO, and they
Yeah.
kind of act like that, but they don't really have like a special like.
right.
Bond. You would
Right.
think that if that was true, now Vulcan just seems like a bastard, so maybe they're just not friendly. But like,
he's kind of
Ocelot's
a piece of
kid.
shit.
But yeah, Ocelot, like some of the details, those little details, they're important too, and they come in later. But
Yeah, Snake was also exposed to atomic bomb testing. That's a call you can get found out, which
can't have kids.
again,
I mean, he should have died
can't
from
have
that
kids, right.
nuclear
He-
bomb in the first place.
The
But
bikini
yeah,
atoll
true.
testing.
He does get exposed to a nuclear bomb in this game slightly, but we make our way through the caves, bit of a different area. And as we go through the game, we'll get exposed to like more different areas. But we get to the pain.
How long? Well, before we get to that, how long did you guys spend at the cave?
A decent while.
a decent.
I played this game a million times.
So you knew exactly where you're going.
No, the cave always
still
fucks me.
clear.
I always get lost in the cave, and if you stay for long enough, Snake's eyes
adjust.
get
I forgot
adjusted.
about that.
That is so. I feel like I actually didn't notice that because like things got brighter at one moment. I don't know if I was going crazy or not. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get stuck too. I did have a guide with me just to reference if I was like, where do I go? And that was one.
Yeah,
of the
I mean, the
where I
game
was
really
just like,
doesn't tell you where to
well,
go.
especially with certain areas, like
I
when we were out
understand
in the forest area where you get to the end, I was like, where do I go? And then I finally got to the boss fight, but I was like, okay.
That cave, something about that cave. I think it's just the
Groznyj
dark.
Gorky. There you go. It wasn't my dock. It was just further down.
you
Groznyj
go.
Gorky. That's what it's called.
Something
Sorry.
about that cave. It's so dark. It just gives me vertigo.
It's
I'm
very-
like,
it's-
I'm just
it's wild.
lost.
Yeah.
I'm just running around. I'm like, where the fuck do I go?
You can
Like,
find night vision in there too, right?
Yes. Yeah. And that's where we get to the pain. The pain. The first the second boss fight, the first Cobra Unit boss fight. Pretty interesting. It's like it's very like grenade focused, like
Is this
throwing
in
grenades
the
up on the
forest or is this on in
No,
the cave?
this
So
is
this
in
the
the cave.
B-man
Right,
in
okay,
the,
yeah,
in the
yeah,
cave.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bees.
I went about
It
it by
wasn't my
just
favorite,
tossing
personally, yeah.
grenades. To be honest with you, I'll kind of like spoil this. This is more like people's opinions. MGS3, I think, has some of the worst boss fights in the series.
Oh, no shot. I will.
Actually, wait.
I'll die on
Sorry,
that hill.
the lore for the bosses is some of the worst.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Is it MGS4 with the worst boss fights that people think?
I mean,
Because
I see. I like 4, and I like the Beauty and the Beast core, but like I think all the games, the bosses are all very like eccentric and interesting. I think it's just who you relate to. You know.
I mean, in this, it's just kind of like I have bees. The pain.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, that
I'm
is
covered in
essentially.
bee
Like
bites.
in MGS1, every boss is
These
like
things, yeah.
vitally important lore wise, and MGS2 is the same way. MGS3, it's like
Well-
the Cobra
well,
Unit.
I
We're
was gonna
goofy.
say-
No, well,
The pain bye. You know?
you're a fan of MGS5. We
Yeah.
know why they're goofy.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
we know
Is,
why.
is that why they explain why in that game?
yeah,
Again,
in
I never
5.
finished it.
Yeah, the end specifically, actually.
Oh, interesting.
But
And that's set after this, though, right? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
The first
yeah,
one.
You're
like,
right.
In the
like 20
chronology.
years after about.
Okay.
But at the time,
Yeah.
it was just B-Man.
Yeah, they're just B-Man.
You know,
There's
I-
vampire-ish man.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think I misspoke. With the details of the bosses is very who
Few and
cares.
far between, yeah.
Why
It's
are they
just
there? Who gives a shit? They're there.
They're boss's team.
They're
Right.
hokey.
They're there.
yeah.
They're there to be a boss fight. They're
Yeah.
not there for any like.
They're
lore
hokey
reason.
villains. You
They're
know,
the
very
boss's
simple.
boss fights.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Sorry, I misspoke there. So,
No.
Again, somebody could flame me easily.
I
Be
love
like,
it.
what'd you fucking say?
I just think like the pain is silly, and I don't really like the fear, but I love the end. I love the fury.
Yeah, I think the end is like
fury,
the
they're
fan
cool.
favorite of
Yeah.
like the series.
He's awesome.
Yeah,
but
it's
we'll
such
get
a-
to him.
Yeah. Anything to say about the pain?
No, it
I-
just felt very well. Like I'm standing on a rock and I'm shooting
Right,
at
it's-
him.
it's, like,
And
limiting.
I'm like, and I was gonna say, am I missing something? Can I move from that rock anywhere?
Oh,
like,
yeah,
really,
yeah.
like okay, could I go up like on the
So-
ridge behind me and stuff like that? I know.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
didn't-
notice things.
I
I
didn't
ended
go
up
there
just
until I
staying
left.
there.
So it's
yeah,
well, you can't go up on the ridge, but like it's very your move, my move. So
Sure.
it's like when he sends out the bees, you jump in the water.
Right.
You can climb back up if you want to or not. Then he throws the hormones. Then you got to go in the water, swim to the next platform.
it's funny. I just sit on the same one the whole time. I didn't realize there's multiple. I'm an
Yeah, there's one on the other
Yeah,
side.
there's like
food. There's
there's
ammo.
two. I think.
There's something about this boss fight, and I don't know if it was implemented or if Kojima wanted it implemented, but if you wore the winter camo, there's a winter camo. If you
Yeah.
wore that during the boss fight, the bees wouldn't hit you. I don't know what the details are on that,
Like
but I
why
know
that is,
Yeah,
but-
like that's like a trivia.
Yeah, during the codec calls, they tell you a lot about the bees and what they can do. I think it was like I barely even like you can easily not see a lot of mechanics from this boss.
The bees hit you, and you have to take them
Just
out.
jump,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're
Yeah.
in,
Right,
they're in you. Like there's a lot of different.
they're inside.
We didn't speak about after you non-lethal Ocelot, you get the animal camo. The animal camo keeps your aiming steady even though you don't eat. So your stamina could go down and your stomach will still rumble.
yeah, I did notice. I did like that mechanic
Yeah.
actually. I found that
but
interesting.
your aiming will still stay on stay true. So
Yeah, and
that's what that's for.
I also didn't realize they go bad.
Yeah,
That's
when
an
you don't
interesting
play
one.
for a while.
Yeah.
yeah. I think I like that. That's
Is it when you don't play, or is it
Yeah,
just
it's-
after a while?
I didn't
thought
play
it's
for
just
a
as you
week.
continue.
I didn't play for a week, and
Yeah.
my food went bad.
It's
even
over
as you go.
time.
Oh, okay. I
Like-
thought it was
Yeah.
just as you were playing, like because I didn't. I
no,
wasn't
I
eating
mean
a lot
like
of food for a
I
while.
shut my game off and I came back.
This game
And that will
tracks.
do- oh,
yes,
okay, 'cause
this
I-
game tracks day and time, and
Progression.
there's a reason for
Interesting.
that too.
Was that? I didn't even realize they did that back then. Because like even I remember
Impressive,
at MGS5, you'd get on your birthday, and they would
Yeah.
have like boss, here's your birthday cake. I thought that was cool.
Here's your cigars.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kidding. Here's your e-cig.
Yeah, it's like the ones I really think about are like Animal Crossing. I know did that. Like maybe Harvest
Arkham
Moon.
did that too. Yeah,
did
with
it?
so there was like the
Really?
Arkham City, the calendar man, and the thing.
okay.
Yeah,
If you
right.
go back on certain days, like Christmas or something, he'd tell you a new story.
Yeah, yeah,
Or like if you
I
go
did
on
know
Easter, whenever you go on a holiday, he would tell you a different story,
Yeah.
which is cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So
after
different trivia. Yep, that's it.
after that, we move out of that cave area. We're in like the I don't know, like waist high water where the flying platforms come back, and they were dude, I got fucked up by them. I was like, how
That
do
was
I?
actually relatively easy for me.
I
don't
got
know why.
seen immediately.
Oh, I did too, but I just killed them all. I shot. That's the thing. I shot the first one, and then more came out. I didn't realize you could swim under the water too
Yeah.
at first, but then
The controls underwater took me like a minute.
it's weird because you
How
gotta
do I-
press A just to go forward.
Yeah. And later in another area, there's like I guess it's like an ammo place or like
It's like a refuel, like a small port, not
right.
port, but
you
like,
can find
yeah,
the
a
SVD
dock.
there, the
Right.
sniper.
Right. Yeah, I got that. Yeah.
could-
And once you get into this area, Eva stops talking to you, so she's gone. So yeah, I don't think you can. Zero has a call about like he asks where Eva goes, and he like what do you think she's doing?
Yeah.
like
She's just not here.
she's like undercover. You
Yeah,
idiot.
you moron,
You're
yeah.
like, oh,
She disappeared.
Like,
she
well,
can't talk.
yeah.
Ava's not answering my calls.
And we get to that area with another area with a boat, and we get a cutscene where Volgin and Tanya and Ocelot and Sokolov are at. Volgin is kind of like
Raging.
raging against Tanya. And yeah, that's the scene with he like shocks her and her
tights, like,
pantyhose or tights or whatever she's wearing. I guess they're probably not stockings. They're probably tights.
If I know my tights correctly, no.
I kind of assumed they were like stockings or something.
I think stockings are technically only when they're like separate pieces, like when it's just like a single and a single.
Wow. I didn't know
Anyway.
that.
Anywho.
I'm learning a lot of
Anyways,
shit.
so when you get so
Ocelot messes with Sokolov here, with like like he has the 3 guns and he's like, there's one in the chamber and
That's
he's like,
so cool.
he's flipping him up and he's fucking around with him. He pisses his pants. That's an MGS thing that they do in every game where a character pisses their pants.
Or shits.
The boss steps in, puts Ocelot back into place. He shoots a bullet, right?
She grabs that revolver and
Yeah. So he was about to kill him. That happens later as well. Volgin is pissed about Snake, essentially, the Pain's dead. How could the Pain, one of the Cobra
One of
units,
the Cobras?
be
Yeah.
dead? Like, what's going on? And he immediately suspects Khrushchev. So he doesn't think it's like America. So
like
well, because there's the infighting going on. I feel like he's probably thinking like,
Right.
well, the boss couldn't. The boss just fucking put down what's his name. He couldn't take out the Pain.
and he doesn't mention the philosopher's legacy here, but later when he constantly mentions it, it's clear that he is intimidated from the infighting that's going on because they think people are coming after his money, which is funny that because it's not the reason you're there.
No.
We don't know about the philosopher's legacy yet, but we will. The boss is like, all right, I'm going to send the fear, and the fear wheels out the end, and the fear's like, I'm the fear, and like fucking like flies
And then,
away. The fear is goofy as
He is
anything
goofy
with
as
his
fuck.
dislocating arms.
Yeah.
and-
he's the dumbest one.
And he like climbs up the tree backwards and stuff. Yeah.
He's like he's a spider, right?
He's supposed to be spider.
See, I would have guessed like
vampire.
demon vampire
Yeah.
or something or other, like
Oh,
just
tell
weird.
Predator.
Don't tell Snake.
Well, just the way he like, the way, especially when he's like crawling and shit. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the end is asleep, and like Volgan's like, is he okay? And the boss is like, he sleeps until he's needed.
He's
and,
saving his life force for the battle.
Yeah,
or something
something
like that.
pretty
Yeah.
much. So at this point, you can kill the end
Yes.
here.
You could snipe.
You
him.
can snipe him and kill him, and you
His
don't
life
fight him.
bar's at the top, and you
Oh,
can sit there.
interesting.
I think it's like 3 shots. It's like
And that eliminates his
skip,
Yeah,
boss skip.
yeah. So that's a
because
big,
they just leave him out there, right?
Yeah.
He just died. Yeah, he's just
That's
dead.
so funny. And
You
then
just killed a
don't
sleeping
even
old
have-
man.
Yeah, that's
it.
hilarious.
I don't know. I never did that to the point where I know what happens at the end's boss fight.
Yeah,
Is it just an empty
it's-
arena.
I've
I
seen
don't
it
know.
so many.
You just keep going through. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
they're
not
just
really
I
sure.
feel like I've seen it so many times, but I don't know what happens there when he's not there.
Yeah.
I mean, just walk through it, I guess. And the sorrow is also here again. It starts raining.
I'm the sorrow. No.
Kuwabara. As he
Is
ward.
he the sorrow? Oh, he's the sorrow, the big electric guy.
No, Volgan. It's Volgan.
That's
Right.
Volgan.
The sorrow is
sorrow's a
there, but it
ghost.
starts raining, which is an indication that the sorrow.
Oh,
is,
that's the last
is-
one.
is
Okay,
there.
yeah. I'm
Right.
trying to remember. Like, which one's the sorrow?
Yeah, we like at this point in the playing, we have killed all of the Cobra unit, but the sorrow is technically in this game.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Oh, so they don't really know you. They
He's
don't even
dead.
point him out. Okay, but
He's
they don't.
dead.
Okay.
He's a ghost.
Because you definitely see.
He's a
okay,
ghost.
interesting. I thought he was just some weird ghost man that was.
Oh,
on
I
the
mean,
run.
he is some weird
like
ghost
in the
man.
first episode. He's a ghost. He's just a ghost.
Yeah.
That is it. He's a spirit.
But do they know about him, like the Cobra team?
The boss definitely does.
Oh,
she
okay.
feels
All
him.
right.
She feels
I
him
think
there.
they do. I
Because
would
the
say
way they
yes.
frame it, I almost just assumed like, oh, they know he's
don't?
part of the team.
I think
Like the way, like, well, because just like
Yeah,
literally
he's-
the way
he's-
they're
he's hanging
framing
out.
shots, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, he's with everyone.
Yeah,
he must. They must know who he is.
I think he's there.
Yeah, he's hanging
and
out.
I
Yeah.
think the boss like feels him, but I
Right.
don't. I think they all assume he's dead. But
Got it.
they know it must be something with the rain and must
I
have
see.
blah blah
I
blah.
see. I see. I see. Okay.
I don't know if there's any more details than that.
And in this area after this, before we get to Gran and Gorky, there we go. we can get the
Sure.
Desert Face Paint, the XM16E1, which is the prototype M16,
Right.
which Sigan has a pretty interesting call. Next time you're playing, equip it and do that
cool.
call because it's like, you know, it's the M16.
It's like ahead of its yeah,
Right,
it's supposed to be
yeah.
at the time. I should
It's
say.
like,
where
hey,
set.
like they just started using these in Korea,
Yeah.
and like he mentions like like they're gonna roll these out.
This is it.
I don't know if you got the call. I'm not sure which one it is, but it's a pretty early call about like why Sigan is on this team and how like Zero saw something in him. So obviously he's black, and that like he wasn't accepted into like the intelligence community because of that. But Zero saw like the potential in him, and that's sort of like why he's on
like
the team.
mentored him almost to it.
Yeah. Because it's funny. Like Sigan makes a lot of references to the fact that like everyone on the Fox unit is like weird besides him. And he's kind of right.
He's just a normal guy.
And
Like,
necessarily
he's
he
just a guy
is.
just trying to
He's
get
the
by.
most
Yeah.
normal
He's just a
out
guy.
of all of them. But yeah, so that's kind of where but he does have a lot of loyalty to Major Zero, and he mentions that in the call. Like it's the only time he really ever is like, "Oh, Zero,"
Yeah.
like I
Right,
owe him
right.
everything. But yeah, we get to Groznyj Gorky. We go inside for the first time in a few areas, but then so the urban environments kick in, and the gameplay changes a lot back to MGS 1 and 2. It like the gameplay does kind of change a little bit. You have to,
Oh, yeah.
Well, especially going from those urban environments to like the
big
foresty
open air.
Then your
areas.
footsteps matter
Yeah.
because you hear the clicking.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
there's multiple floors,
Yeah.
and it's like who could see me here and there.
There is a cool Easter egg in that area. So there's photographs in some of the rooms, and those photographs are actually Silent Hill 3 concept art from Hiro Usada. She was a background designer at Konami, so she worked on MGS3, and she
Right.
just put those in there.
Oh, that's cool.
Like for like no
Just-
reason at all.
They
just-
needed pictures on the wall.
right. So
Yeah.
here's some Silent Hill 3 concept.
Isn't there something with the magazines too? Like some of the magazines are like
They're like MGS3 covers.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
something
a
weird.
magazines, like say like Metal Gear Solid
Yeah.
3 on them. Yeah. I mean, or you're talking about like the porn mags?
No, not those. I think
books.
like there's just books
call
like
them.
sitting on like desks, and you could look at them, and they have something on them. I
In-
remember it being.
I think that's
something specific.
MGS2.
Yeah, maybe I'm confusing. I'm not sure.
I did
remember-
notice those in like a guard room, but you couldn't really read
Read
like,
anything.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't read them. It's just like pictures.
It was like very pixely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we do that area, and we get a little further, and we find Granin,
Yeah. He's cool.
and he's cracked. You're cracked, aren't you? I don't.
Nice shoes.
Yeah, so Granin, like, big exposition dump here.
Yeah.
Big.
Where he's the one who made the Vostok rockets, and he kind of gets fucked over because Sokolov's technology is better than his, so the Soviet Union
Goes
wants
with
him
him.
to make Shagohod, not Granin. So Granin is reduced to like his whatever his award is, like,
Yeah.
and that's it. And he gets drunk, and
Yeah.
like he just sits there and does
He's
nothing.
like, I hate. He's like, I love my country, but they don't love
Yeah.
me. Like basically to it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
exactly
yeah,
what it is.
absolutely, yeah.
This is the first time canonically we are where the Shagohod is not a Metal Gear, but Granin's research is the idea that tanks walk on bipedally.
Walking tanks.
A Metal Gear, if you will. And then Snake goes, Metal Gear?
Metal Gears.
Yeah, so
And then you see
and he's working with an American person, which is Huey Emmerich from MGS5
Right.
and Peace Walker.
I definitely remember him.
Yeah,
from
yo,
the game.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
get his ass
Yeah,
out.
so
We
so-
hate you.
Yeah, so he's mentioned here for the first time, and like that's pretty much it.
Lots of little details in the room as they
Right.
cut through.
Granin talks about the philosopher's legacy.
So what is that? It's like a
Well,
funding apparatus or
we'll-
something.
You'll get to
yes,
it.
we'll get to
Okay.
it.
It's
All right.
di- it's-
Yeah.
It's money.
That's what I
money.
thought.
It is
Yeah,
money.
it seems
Yeah.
like
It's
it's
a
like funding
fortune.
for the
Vulcan
Metal
is-
Gear and stuff
right.
like that, right? Or
Right.
like or different things. I'm sorry, I don't mean to
No,
get
no,
at
no.
you.
Vulcan is doing exactly
Yeah.
that. He's using that money to fund what he's doing.
Yeah, instead of it being funding, it's funds.
Right,
Just
exactly.
think of it as like
in
a
weights to be
massive.
used, yeah.
It's a massive fortune.
Makes sense.
massive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Enough to where you could,
Yeah.
go
Make an
against
insanely
Russia.
advanced-
Yeah.
Yeah, so the
Russia.
Shagohod is picked over Granin's Metal Gear design, so he's butthurt about it, essentially. He gives you the key to Groznyj Grad. He goes, go fuck him up. I don't care.
He's like, I don't like these guys.
I don't care.
Sokolovs have been moved there. We call Eva. There's no response for her, so it's like, all right, I guess we're just gonna go there. You can talk to Sigan about bipedal tanks and how he thinks it's ridiculous, which is funny because the whole series
Series
revolves
is
around
based
these
on-
You
things.
see Ray. You see the little Ray.
Yeah,
see
the
the
Ray
little
model on his
Metal
desk. There's
Gear Ray.
also Zone of the Enders figures on his desk.
In one
you
of the
know,
backgrounds.
Yeah, Zone of the Enders is another Konami series. Kojima produced it. He
Gotcha.
didn't make it.
He did
but
have-
he-
yeah,
but he
beyond
worked
that,
on
yeah.
it.
It's a really good. Those are really good games.
Okay.
Too.
Yeah, very much more anime focused, mecha.
Yeah, mecha
Right,
fighting.
right.
Yep.
Okay.
Sigan talks about tanks. Yeah, Huey Emmerich, and this is the point where I was like, I really wish there was a reload checkpoint thing because I found myself like fucking up and wishing I could just reload.
Down to
And not-
options, quit the game,
Yeah.
go back into the game.
Yeah,
it's
it's
such
like-
a pain.
well,
in
it's
the
like,
ass.
why?
And even so, but that's why I just use the death pill, right?
Yeah,
Every
you
time
could
like
do
that.
that.
Just
Yeah, you could.
That's what I
Sometimes,
did
every
every time.
time.
I just clicked it because that was quicker than going back to the menu, reloading, the
Yeah.
checkpoint. Yeah, that seemed to be like the reload checkpoint button.
Force death, go back,
Yeah,
reload.
exactly.
Blah blah blah. Yeah.
we can find the fly camo and the chocolate chip camo here, and it's Sigan's like, it's funny because it's just like a desert camo, and if you call Sigan about it, he's like, yeah, that's the chocolate chip camouflage. You know something about the desert, soldiers use it here, and he's like, well, why is it called choco chip? Well, because it looks like chocolate chip. Oh, okay.
That's it. That's it.
Thanks, Sigan.
Snake always is looking for something deeper than it actually
he
is.
needs more.
Yeah, but when he's not, there usually like is
The
like,
deepest,
Yeah.
the deepest lore. Like,
Yeah, he's like, like why did
God,
I do
that's
this?
enough. Yeah, like especially with the food and stuff. He's like, but does it taste good?
Is it
Like,
good?
I think it's the Gakko camo, and I love when paramedic jumps into Sigan's calls, and he's like, he's wearing the Gakko suit, and he's like, well, like. It's stupid. It looks dumb. Like it doesn't help you. And the Gakko camo is for the Karatans. It helps you find them, the collectibles.
Is that those green things?
The frogs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, he's wearing the Gakko suit. Deal with it. It's cute. And he's like, yeah, it is cute.
I like it.
The box call with Sigan is also very funny, where he's like, Snake, why in that box?
Hey, why in the box?
Yeah, and he's like, I forget. He's like, I feel like I can do anything here. He's like, you should join me in the box.
in the box.
And he's like, what? He's like, no, I ain't doing that.
Some of the dialogue is so.
I think Sigan is kind of like, I know like the Major has his call, like that one Bond call, and he starts freaking out about like scones and tea and stuff. But like it is funny how goofy they are.
And I will say, so far, they said for the new remake they're using the old audio.
oh yeah.
I don't really see why not actually playing. It holds up very well. Like,
so good.
it's this.
and I think that makes them not be able to really change anything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean?
And
So, like-
that's what people were worried about. It's like,
That's
and
what I'm
I think we brought up that like
Yeah.
I feel like haters' prime of Snake is way over.
Yeah.
So it would just be like, it would just be so much different, and like would the dialogue hit? Would they want to change things? Because
Right,
they're changing. If you give a mouse a cookie, he's going to want a glass of milk. They're changing one thing. Now we're going to change
Well,
other
that's what I mean.
things.
And even just like gameplay elements, like you can't, because if it's referencing something that just happened in the game,
In the game, it's
you
got-
need to
If
do
you
that.
notice, there are some re-recorded calls with Paramedic and Zero, and it's from the HD collection when they
Got it.
had new controls, so they had to re-record
Like, yeah.
tutorial calls for the
Right.
controls, and they sound like much different.
Much different,
And
yeah.
this happens in MGS2 as well, where Paul Idling came back, and he sounds like literally, he's like
He's
20,
older,
20
yeah.
years old, like 10 years
Your voice
older.
does age for
Yeah.
most people.
Yeah, yeah.
That's interesting. I wouldn't have noticed that.
Unless they cut something, but your point still
No,
stands.
exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
for
they can-
sure.
they can cut,
it's-
they
but
can't
they can't really
add.
add.
Yeah,
So
adds the
like,
issue.
it's just
It's
it's
good.
very interesting. Yeah, that seems to me then like, and even from that first gameplay trip or like thing that they put out. I mean, we talked about this a little bit last episode, but it does really look like it feels this. At least to
It's
me,
the-
from my little
yeah.
bit,
Feels the
definitely
same.
feels the same. Like
Yeah.
it just feels like they took what they had and made it on Unreal 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We'll have to
Next
see.
up, as we're leaving Groznyj Gorky, we run into the fear. I am the fear.
I hate
This
it.
boss fight was actually pretty difficult, but
I actually like
liked
this
it
one
a lot.
I did too. Yeah.
Like giving him, he has stealth camo. You can poison him with the food, and that was kind of how I got him down, and like we can make him throw up and shit. You can kind of use the traps against him.
Sound like you said you can get him to throw up and shit.
I mean, possibly. Maybe Kojima.
There's a lot of good. There's a lot of interesting little
This is my favorite boss fight, but I don't
really?
like.
I
the
think so
character.
far,
Yeah.
I actually would agree.
Yeah.
I even liked it more than who's the last one?
The end.
The end.
Or
no,
the Fury.
no, the Fury.
The Fury.
I didn't love the Furies, but
I don't like the Furies either.
But
It's hard, but
it's
It is
very
really
hard. No,
hard.
it definitely was hard. But and I was trying to use the shotgun, which was a bad idea. I don't know why, but yeah, I don't know. I found it to be the most engaging one for me, at least definitely so far out of those two.
out of mechanics.
Yeah, but yeah, I still the aiming with the right bumper and like having to hold X to shoot. I cannot wait to have that updated because I'm sorry. Like again, I think it does become muscle memory, like you said to me in the chat, but it's still just like I don't know if I'm getting old
It's inconvenient.
and decrepit, but my right finger was like getting annoyed from holding it down so much.
I think that and the menus. Look at Death Stranding. It's a ton of menus. But like with MGS3, I'm like, I am constantly going into this menu.
Really? I didn't find myself to be doing that often.
Oh, I'm switching shit out constantly.
See,
switching camos out
like,
constantly.
okay.
That makes sense.
So and like again, like going into the survival viewer to heal. That's a right bumper button, and you can just do everything right there.
Yeah.
But
Like,
then,
I
like-
feel like they can update that really well.
Oh, 100%.
They have a good opportunity
Streamline
to
the shit out of it.
Exactly.
as
Yeah,
long as
yeah.
they keep like the
Dude, that's funny. That was the exact word I was gonna say. Streamline.
as long as they keep like
The overall
charm.
idea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I want to still see the little.
There's
like,
no charm in
yeah.
those menus. Yeah,
Oh,
the
I want to see like
noises-
I want to see like the reels.
I think there is, and I think like
dude,
even the way, yeah.
It sucks with the reels. You only get the one where he's eating the. No.
Yeah.
It's how you get it once. You eat
Well-
the fish and the snake one time, and that's it. And,
but it's cool.
Then he's like,
No, it is
doing
cool.
the thing.
I agree, though. I would have loved to see that on more things, even too.
Right,
Like,
I just
think
want to
that's-
see it
once.
more.
Yeah,
Like, why
yeah.
once?
If they
What
if
it
they
did was
add
awesome.
more, I would like that.
for sure. Like if they showed you eating the rabbit or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know Trio definitely didn't get the Sunuchi Noko here. Did you?
No, oh no, you could get it earlier.
I got it here.
Oh, really?
It's a fat snake. And it's
Suit.
It's-
Yeah, like a
no,
fat suit.
no,
or like,
no,
no,
It's
oh,
an
it's a
animal.
literal fat snake.
It's a
yeah.
Yeah,
it's a
literal-
mythology like a
Mythological,
Japanese Japanese mythological creature. It's just like a
Interesting.
wide snake.
Interesting.
Yeah, and
Tsuchinoko.
you can lay a trap and then you just reload and you eventually will get it. And there's a call about to not eat it. He's like Snake or like Zero's like bring it back immediately, and everyone's like, yeah, you have to bring it back, and I just fucking ate it. but they don't have a call about it. What the fuck? You just eat it.
Did you eat the snake?
Yep. It would have gone
gosh,
bad.
yeah.
Well, there are a few things about the fear that I did want to touch on.
Yeah. Sorry, I
So,
didn't.
no, you're good.
mean to move fast.
The fear has a few different mechanics that you could do. So you could walk into the arena, take the death pill, and he'll come down and check on you. He'll be like, "That was it."
How do you take the death pill and then like undo it? Can you do that?
You
Yeah.
You put in
Wait,
the
wait, wait,
revival.
wait,
Because I was just using it to kill myself. I was literally just using it
Dude, you
to
have a
reload.
revive pill in your tooth.
No, I saw that, but I was like, but how do I use it after I use the death pill?
You don't hit continue. Yeah.
You hold. You reopen the
That
the
menu.
thing, that menu, and it pops up.
Because
on
I
the screen.
did
hit
read
X.
the menu and
Yeah.
I was like, why is it saying fake death? Because I was
Yeah.
like trying to figure out. I was
Your,
like,
your
it
revive
did-
pill, you can't take off that bar because it's like in your tooth.
Right.
Yeah. So
Okay,
you
that
go
makes
to
more
the
sense.
revive pill and you hit X and you can't hit continue.
Yeah.
It won't
Okay. All
auto
right.
do
Because
it.
that's what I was.
Yeah.
That's how I was just reloading my saves. To be honest.
Yeah, so you could use that on a like a.
All right. That's good to know.
bunch of
I will
different ways.
definitely check that out next time.
But for the fear, you could use it. He'll come down, check on you, and then if you wait a few seconds, he turns his back on you. So
then
you
you
get
can
a
wake up.
free
A little sneak
move.
attack, yeah.
And there's a quick kill for the fear. So quick non-lethal. You take the death pill, revive. Wait till he turns around, revive. Throw a stun. He'll get stunned. Pull out the AK, and it'll take down his.
Yeah,
his
dude. I was
stamina
using
bar.
my I was using the like MK, not the MK, but the like big fucking LMG gun. That was
The
fucking awesome.
M60, the
Yeah.
M63. Well, yeah, you get that like on a little bit.
Oh, maybe it was actually on the other boss fight then.
the next
But,
area.
yeah.
You get the M63. He's crazy. Yeah. Every time you fire it. So
The fear is fun.
It was
Yeah,
live. I agree.
It's fun. He's just
very
I just don't like
challenging,
him.
but I enjoy
The characters, yeah, whatever.
I hate him.
Yeah, he's weird. He just looks creepy.
Yeah, like he seems like just a creepy magician of some weird kind.
Yeah, he's like a contortionist. After this fight, Eva calls us. We need to meet her at the top of the mountain. I forget what the mountain is called, but she's going to give us a key to get further into Groznyj Grad. But before that, we get into a big area and we meet the end. The old man is finally ready to fight us and
I
take our
loved
life.
the area before the end. like that.
I did too. That like kind of jungle area or
Yeah,
whatever.
with the
yeah.
side of the mountain. It's got the side of the mountain on one side and
yeah.
multiple little.
Yeah, because you're at like the base at this point. Yeah,
And then you come out and you come out of
so the
tunnel.
end is like, you know, I feel like one of the most famous boss battles like in gaming.
Love it.
It's interesting.
I knew nothing about it.
There's
Yeah, you,
so
you,
much.
you can
with
go
this one.
about it. I mean, obviously you can kill the end early. So remember how we were talking about the game, the food going bad when you're not playing. If you stop playing for a week, the end will just die.
He'll die mid boss fight.
So
You could kill him with
I do love
the-
all this stuff. That is
Yeah.
so you can start the boss fight
save, quit, come back a week later. He's
and
dead.
he'll just die.
You could go into your console
That's
settings,
so funny.
change
and
the
change
time.
it to,
Yep.
yeah.
He's dead. Boom.
I do like that stuff a lot. I think
Yeah.
that those are really little cool details.
His parrot, you could kill the parrot.
Yeah, and eat it too.
The parrot is his spotter, so you could kill the parrot. You can do a sniping duel with him. You can, you know, okay, this is one where if you sneak up on him, did you shake him down?
No,
Okay.
I it was funny. So like once I got up the mountain, like I was sniping him for a little while, and then I got closer to him, and I kind of kept chasing him down because he would spawn like really close to me, and,
Same.
and I'd be like, dude, I'm
Well,
just
you can
going after
track
you.
his footprints too, right?
Yeah,
That's the one
yeah.
thing I noticed.
Yep.
I thought was
Yeah,
really cool.
yeah.
If you
So
I
do,
was following my own
MVGs,
footprints
it's
for
one.
a
Yeah, and,
second.
and
for a
I've
moment
never
there.
seen like
you're right.
the OHN boys like kill him that way. I'm like, I'm just gonna like chase him down,
Chase him.
like, and he like runs
That's basically
away.
what I did.
My
Yeah.
my kill was
Because like I'm like, you can have a
so
slow, methodical sniper
Yeah.
battle if you want, and I definitely probably will try to do that. But like
fun.
again, there's so many different ways you can go about it.
Yeah. But yeah, if you had the thermals, you could track. You could see his footsteps anyway. But if you had
Sure.
the thermals,
you
you
can
could
track
see
it
him.
even easily. I didn't know that. Okay, cool.
He'll fall asleep, and you could hear him sleeping.
Interesting,
You'll hear
like
him,
snoring, yeah, or whatever, yeah.
snoring. But you could, if you sneak up to him and shake him down, I think it's 3 times. That's how you get his camo. His is the highest camo in the game, the moss camo. I think it
And you
gets
get the Moss and Nagant from him too, right?
if you non-lethal him.
Yeah.
If you non-lethal him, or do you get it lethal too?
no,
Yeah,
no. That's
non-lethal.
what I'm saying. If you're
Yeah.
non-lethal,
So non-lethal, this is the one that doesn't give you a camo. It gives you the Mosin, which is a sniper that shoots. It's
the sniper, World War II Russian sniper.
Right.
and it's
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
heavily modified. Shoots tranquilizer
Like the Dragon
darts.
off, whatever, or like kind of like, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the predecessor to the Dragunov. Yeah.
Oh,
Essentially, yeah. But it's like it's got a chopped off stock, like a folding stock,
Right,
because
right.
he would get dropped in the battles like parachute. But
Fought in World War II. These guys. Remember that.
they're old.
The Fear fought in World War II. Could you imagine? The Fear.
He'll heal from the sun. I don't know if that happened to any of you guys.
I mean, that's where the quiet of it comes into.
Oh, I didn't know.
They
Oh,
mentioned the end in MGS5 that there was a soldier like Quiet, and he's that soldier. 'cause
he'll
he
sit in the sun,
uses
heal.
photosynthesis.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different little.
Weird,
Little
but
nods, yeah.
very
Fun
little
stuff.
nod. It's like, okay, Kojima.
He is a great boss battle.
And we get the M63 at some point. I have that right. Oh no, right before the. Okay, sorry, I'm out of order. Before the end, we get that, but we talked about that. Then we get to again another very famous scene from MGS3, the ladder, which I like. I love it. Yeah. What a thrill! Darkness and silence through the night. Trio's just unamused.
No, I just got a text. I'm sorry, I read. I love the music. I listen to it most of the time when I go in.
Yeah,
Are you talking about when he's climbing up the ladder?
ladder.
I was going like, okay, so where's the top?
I
Mountain.
it's interesting because again, like
It makes sense. Yeah, it is a mountain.
really
Duh.
high octane up until like this point. Like again, like you're going from area to
to
area,
boss.
fighting,
Boss.
one cutscene, fight. Yeah, you just went through 3 boss fights in like a very little amount of time.
Short amount of time.
It's like, you know, it's kind of like a reprieve moment. It's like, okay, like it's about to get harder, and here's like your ascent.
I never realized how short the game was. Like playing it.
Well, it's
like,
funny. Even watching like the walkthrough, it's only like 8 hours.
It's so short.
9 hours for like a just straight walkthrough with no commentary or anything.
I feel like I'm just like it. Like you said, it's like boss. Like, and I love that, but it's also like the Cobras are great, but they don't like. I guess they don't have like staying power. You know,
They don't have a lore reason to be
Yeah.
there. I really think that's why, like, okay, we talk about the end, but like nobody's talking about the pain like they are the end. Yeah, like
just
or
like-
again, like the fear, the fury. Like nobody, like especially with like Vulcan Raven
I like the
and
Fury's
Ocelot
design a lot, I will
and,
say,
and
but-
Liquid Snake in MGS1. Like the like they're just not on the same level. And same with like MGS4. Like all those boss fights are, from what I understand, like pretty bad. Like nobody really likes the
they're
MGS4
okay.
boss fights.
Yeah.
Like with,
Beauty and Beast Core. They're
Yeah.
It's like I don't. There's something about like the quickness.
They reuse the fights
Yeah.
too. You know,
you don't have
reference.
time to dwell on the bosses of MGS3 to the point where it's like.
Right.
The fear is dead. Keep going. Get out of here.
And that's even
That's
in the
true.
narrative. Snake doesn't question the shit at all.
He just walks.
He
So
kills
guys,
them. All right,
kill the
see ya.
B-Man, kill the weird vampire, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Let's keep
B-Man,
going.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yep.
What a thrill.
So you climb and
Yeah.
Climbing.
And just like the noise
It is.
too. Dunk, dunk,
Yep.
dunk, dunk. Yeah, really great. So we're at the
good.
base of the mountain. We talked about the choppers thing. This is where that would come in. Eva's back. She's on the codec. We can get the RPG in this area, but the move up the mountain again, another like pretty difficult area, and I enjoyed
area.
getting through it. But we do meet Eva at the top of the mountain, and she gives us the objective to we got to steal Colonel Ivan Raidanovich Rykov's uniform. Remember we're talking about the
Battle
mask?
Chestnut. Yeah.
That's
That's what.
Right.
Okay.
Yep, it's
yeah.
right.
so, and it's a reference to Raiden from MGS1. He's kind of like
too.
so yes, two, and he has like all these like if you hold him up and talk to him, like he says stuff from MGS2. It's just like Kojima, like kind of like
Poking fun at himself.
poking fun at
yeah.
himself, but also what the fan base was saying about Raiden, which was. You know, like he's gay, like like
He's satiating the
androgynous.
fans,
Nobody
yeah.
likes him. He's not Snake. He's not as cool as
not
Snake.
cool.
He's lame. You know.
Why is
Yeah.
he so androgynous?
I mean, people did not like Raiden for that.
especially back in like I'm sure when did that come out? 2002. When was
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid?
2002.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
imagine that
Two,
that
yeah.
would not
Two,
go
yeah.
over super well at that time.
Yeah.
He just it just wasn't the same.
That's
and
why I
people
called
didn't
him
like that. Yeah.
No, it makes sense.
People would probably say
No,
that.
no, you're right. Absolutely.
We've changed. All right.
Yeah, we
We've
have
changed.
We've progressed.
So yeah, we get that's the
Food of
objective.
the food of the future. Come on, what? She gives you the food of the future. Ramen. the ramen packs.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about the calorie mate for a minute.
No, she gives them ramen.
yeah,
She's
ramen.
like food of the future.
Yeah. Yeah. So she talks to us, and then we go out. Why do we go?
We
out-
go back to because we talked to her and
No,
then
we talk to her, and then we go outside because then we get that cutscene.
Then you're standing on the side of the mountain looking at Groznyj Grad.
Right.
And
But do you go
walk-
out there with her or
Yeah.
no?
Yeah, that's what you guys have.
because she takes
and
the
then
bike.
she
in.
leaves,
Yeah.
and then you
yeah.
go back.
Okay, I was
and
like,
then,
I'm like,
You
how
see
do you get from
Volgan
there?
punching a
Yeah.
barrel.
Yeah.
So Volgan finds out that he gave information to Snake and kills Granin, punching him inside a barrel, which is pretty gruesome. I think Volgan really shows, like at this point, Volgan really shows his like tenacity and his fury.
Volgan is like and this goes to 5 too, but Volgan is the most like angry, I think evil, like he is
Yeah,
more
mustache
Like the-
twirling.
yeah,
more
he's
than
just a
liquid,
clown, yeah.
more than any like he's just this dude is a bad dude. He's hardcore.
and he likes to be bad. Yeah. Mhm.
And then Granin has the transmitter in his shoe. And they make a comment on that.
Yeah. So, Volgan kills Granin. The boss kind of prepares for Snake's arrival. They're getting ready. Like Snake's gonna they gotta stop Snake.
him
He's
up.
killed like the entire Cobra unit. Like, what's going on?
Anyone living.
Yeah. Ocelot suspects Tanya of being a spy again. The perfume, like, where you been? Like, again, he's like, are you taking a fancy to her? Hey, Ocelot. And he's like, no, I don't fucking like this girl at all.
She comes down wearing the boots, right? And he does he make a comment
Yeah,
about
it makes
the
a comment
boots?
to her
Yeah.
boots because Snake did the same
Yeah.
thing, right? To her boots. that
Something
they were
about like,
scuffed.
yeah, right, exactly.
And he's like, clean your uniform like any proper soldier. And yeah, that's kind of where that ends. And again, we move through a few areas. And before we get to Groznyj Grad, we have our final,
here's the final, yeah.
technical final member of the Cobra unit, the Fury, who I do think very hard boss fight, space guy.
So cool.
Yeah,
I came
but
back.
I just don't like the fight.
It's
It's very like segmented.
It's
very
it's-
non open.
Well, yeah, it's
Like,
just you're in these corridors,
straight
and
lines.
he's got this flamethrower that he progressively uses more as you
fucks you
damage
up.
him.
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
just gotta find like these moments
small
to
moments.
get him and like sneak up on him, but like there's so much fire around everywhere.
Right.
Like
I was never able to sneak up on him.
Yeah.
at the beginning, excuse me, Jesus. At the beginning, I was like when he first starts, but I didn't like. I just shot him. I didn't like actually sneak up on him and grab him.
There's this is one I was saying in the Discord. This is the during this playthrough, this was the first time where I was like really I I was like stressed.
Frustrated almost, yeah.
I was like shaking. I
Like
was like,
this
man.
one?
Yeah, the Fury was like really like had me like in it. I'm
Fred
like,
was fucking having panic
I'm like,
attacks.
because you hear him like the boot steps. You hear him like stepping on the metal, and then he'll fly, and then you're like, shit, did he
Where
fly
the
this
fuck
way?
Like,
is
where the
he?
fuck did
Yeah.
he go?
Yeah, because
Oh, I
like
gotta find him
I'm
again.
going this way, and he goes that way,
And
and
then it just flames down the fucking aisle.
there's
Yeah.
a few little. There's one mechanic. Well, not one mechanic. There's one area that you could sit, and it essentially defeats the whole boss fight.
Sure.
And it's right by the door. If you stand by the door, that the exit door, he just can't. Like he'll put fire there, but he won't come to you.
He can't. Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
it's like so one of the ways you can non-lethal him is take out the Mosin, lay down by the door. Did any of you guys use the box this fight?
No.
It puts out the fire.
Oh, I thought just rolling
Why?
do that too.
The rolling does, too.
Okay. That is
Why
so
would that
funny.
make any sense?
But it's just like putting on the box because it keeps you running too. So you could put the box on, put the box off, and it'll just keep putting your fire out.
Huh.
And yeah, this one just like really happened.
I could imagine on hard it was very hard. I mean,
I was
on
like,
normal it
damn.
was hard.
I
So
was getting really frustrated. No, Not frustrated, but like I was like really like in it in the moment. I was really like, oh my god, this dude's like right on my ass, and he was flying around shooting me with flames and shit.
very tense.
Yeah.
for sure.
But he's like, I like his
I like his whole motif.
yeah
and everything.
cosmonaut
Yeah.
came back from
yeah,
space.
what are some of his lines? You're just, I'm off.
yeah 3, 2,
One. Yeah. And he
I see the earth
It's
or
weird.
whatever. Right?
I see
It's
the
like,
earth
yeah.
like covered in flame, bathed in flame or
Bathed in-
whatever.
Yeah, it's funny because his like jetpack is like, it's like he like ignites it, like it's a
Yeah.
part of his flamethrower. Like,
Yeah.
like when he hits it, like you see the gas come out and then
Yeah.
he's fucking flying
really
everywhere.
good.
He's
It's a
just
good moment.
like yeah, and it's like he's got the big bubble, but you see him inside, and then it's just a really like interesting. You know, I was looking through one of the concept books, and a lot of the different and there were like in the concept book, there's a lot of like almost like demon looking.
I'm
like,
sure. I mean, based off
figures.
of especially with like the fear and everything,
Yeah.
it seemed like.
Oh
they were
yeah, and then the face that comes at you when you
it's
leave.
like a skull.
I was like, what
and
is
it's
this?
like-
The Mummy?
Yeah, it's like exactly.
2004?
It's like,
Whatever,
oh, dude,
yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah, and like you
it's
pull out the
very
exit and
strange.
the face, like I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
Again, Snake questions none of it. Nope, absolutely.
That was
none
cool.
of it.
Moves right past it. Doesn't
Yeah,
even.
yeah. It's
think
like
to think
doesn't
about it,
doesn't even think to think about it.
Like,
yeah, but
Look-
I think the Fury is a boss fight that maybe I need to like do again and do in a different method to kind of gain some appreciation for it because like I just was like. You know what's funny? I missed the keratin in this area, so I had to reload and go back, and I was like, at my wit's end. I was like, oh my god, I gotta do this again.
I just want to get through.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh, like that was hard, and like I'm like I didn't do it well the first time. Now I got to do it like shitty. Like I ended up just sniping him and using this M16 against him, which you know
I just
I'm
think
fine with,
you know
but
the Cobra is like
I didn't feel like very stylish about it.
Sure.
Like-
immersed in the gameplay.
Right, I felt like I was
You're
like,
just
all
trying to get it done.
Yeah.
right,
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
just like I just didn't have the patience for it at the time.
I like the Cobras. I think they're cool, but like between like you know the pain is whatever, the fear is whatever, but like between the rest, you know, it's pretty cool. Like they're cool
sure.
concepts, cool ideas. You know, the boss fights, like we were saying earlier, are very like scenario based, and I think it was the worst with Ocelot, like that scenario. But
For sure.
it's like they're
Super
very
particular.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like one tiny area. This is what you can do.
This is what we're doing. Do it.
I think
Yeah.
with the Fury, it's probably the tightest, right? Like
I
or
agree.
just-
I like
Yeah.
the Fury the most. Yeah, it just feels like because just the amount of like.
Wait, you like the Fury the most?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm getting confused.
The fear.
The fear.
The Fear.
Yeah, I like the fear the most. Yeah.
because you can do more. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like that kind of
Fury.
arena style of like, and he's up and down around in the trees and shit.
Yeah, but it's not constricting to
No,
you.
yeah.
Right.
All
I
right,
agree.
so and we move into what I would say the hardest area of the game, Groznyj
Groznyj
Grad. You know, we can find the Scorpion here. There's another cardboard box as well. I just got seen so many times trying to get through
Found
this
it pretty
area.
easily.
But
I made it through.
I was looking around a lot, which
Sure.
also made me get
Yeah.
detected.
Sure, that makes
so
sense.
I was just like, oh my god, and looking for the Keratans too.
Yeah.
So I was just like, you got to be fucking kidding me. I got seen again, and like I'm running away and like
Yeah.
trying to figure out how the areas are and stuff. But I
Yeah.
like there's just so much more guards and there's so much less places to hide.
definitely.
And then this is where like the box comes in handy. I think it's, is it
Absolutely.
A?
Yeah.
Cardboard box A. That's it says 2 weapons like where you're going. So you could go to the
Oh
left
right,
side.
you can go in the truck.
Yeah,
I forgot
you could jump in
about
the truck,
that.
put the
Oh,
box on,
interesting.
and it'll
Huh.
bring you all the way
That's
there.
an MGS1 reference.
Interesting.
Yeah, because
I
you can
love
do
it.
that in MGS1.
Yeah.
Hide
They're
the
like,
box,
oh.
and they'll take you to the other side of the Shadow Moses in one.
It gives you a little hint on the box's description. It says like 2 Groznyj Grad weapon lab, whatever,
Yeah.
where you're supposed to go.
And then we get into that weapon lab. We find Rykov, and he's pretty easy to tail.
Take
Not
him
much,
down, yeah.
not much of a challenge at all.
Didn't take me- it wasn't that
so
hard.
yeah, and we totally glanced this detail over. He is Volgan's lover.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I caught that
When he grabs
grabs his
Snake's balls.
dick.
Grabs his
Yeah,
balls.
yeah, and he just goes.
got-
He's like, "Hey," you're
wearing-
not my guy.
What?
Yeah.
Doesn't he say like, who are you? Or
He's like,
something
"I
that?
know his facilities" or something like that. Like,
something
yeah,
weird.
Yeah, and like Eva knows, and like Snake's like, well, like what are they? Like who is he to him?
What do they do?
And he's like, but he's a
They're like, but he's a man.
no, he's he's a colonel. Or no, he's not a colonel. He's a major.
He
has colonel-
It's like the one below.
Right, yeah. So it's
Sergeant
like,
major or something.
yeah. So like, why does he have colonel class ranking if he's not a colonel? Because
Right.
he's
Volgan's boy.
You all right?
Yeah, I just caught my hand on the chair.
Well, we're dying here. But yeah, I mean,
There's a lot of fun things
more
in there.
gameplay.
Yeah.
We can fuck around a lot in this
And
area.
yeah, that's a great area because it's like you put on the scientist outfit and the soldiers won't care, but the
Right.
scientists
Scientists
recognize
know
it.
you. Yeah.
yeah.
The SIG spray comes in handy here.
I have yet to use the SIG spray.
What's the SIG spray? I missed that.
It's an item you could get in Gorky, and it's while you're wearing the scientist outfit, Snake will just put a cigarette in his mouth, and it's a tranquilizer spray. So you hold it, and it shoots out a puff, and it knocks him out.
That's actually-
Actually, I meant
I've
to.
yet to use it.
I meant to say earlier, when I was fighting the end, I was chasing him, and I ran out of
SIG sprayed him?
I ran out of tranquilizer bullets, so I'm chasing him. I'm like, well, I got the SIG spray, so I ran up to him, and he died. And that was it. But,
Oops.
I love it.
yeah, there's some cool things in this area. Raiden's got the fucking lightning bolt spandex.
Yeah.
He's got
yeah,
the
you
spandex.
mean-
That's
mean,
right. Oh
Rykov.
yeah, like the
Yeah.
yeah.
And yeah, so when you hold him up, he goes
like
like
a Speedo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does he say? I know he goes like, Jack, do you know what day it is tomorrow? Which is all lines from MGS2. And he sounds kind of like quirky.
Yeah.
So like that's the point. It's fun. It's funny to look back at that because I don't really think that's aged well because I think people like Raiden now.
Yeah, but this is one of the things where
Kojima takes a lot of that shit to heart.
Of course.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't recall Kojima ever doing that. Like I'm not like as deep into him as you are, but it's like this is the first.
Gooch is really deep.
He's
into
the
Hideo
deep-
Kojima.
I'm deep
Yeah.
into Kojima.
But it's like I feel like Kojima really stands by his creations. So I wouldn't expect him to be like, yeah, Raiden's
Sure,
yeah,
like to
fuck
really try and
Raiden.
react or like really react to that type
Yeah.
of criticism. Maybe earlier
Right.
in his career he was more prone. Maybe he was more
Well-
willing or ready to like kind of more forwardly address these
Yeah.
things.
Like I can't
yeah,
imagine.
where
well,
it's
him
like
like
now maybe he's like, "Fuck
made
you, I'm doing what I do."
comments about Death Stranding sales, and the fact that it didn't sell as well as he wanted it to.
Sure.
yeah, but he wanted.
And also, like, whenever, dude, what is going on with your arm? What do you mean? Oh, it's like, I don't know, it's not like straight out like mine is. I feel like the more you fuck with it, the more fucked
well,
up it gets.
I move back and forth. It's not as easy for me, so I needed to bring it up.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Just totally distracted me.
the arm is going nuts on its
Fucking
own.
his fucking arm. What was I even saying? Kojima. Yeah. So
Death Stranding
he was
sales.
critiquing Death Stranding sales because I mean like I think Death Stranding sold well, maybe
yeah.
not as
Oh,
For
well as
how
it-
much of a like a
Niche.
particular
It's
game
so
it is.
niche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it, but it's niche.
Yeah.
But then he's making a sequel to it, so it almost like doesn't make sense. It's like like okay, like yeah, it didn't sell well enough, but apparently
doing it
it
for the-
did to
Yeah.
do a sequel.
Well, I think it's enough for him to be able to make the sequel. I'm sure
Did you
he's
want
doing. He's
MGS?
making it because he
I
wants
don't.
to make it.
I
in
think
that
it
way.
made profit, but
Yeah.
again, I don't know what Kojima's
What did he?
numbers
Did he
are.
But
want
what's his
MGS?
number? Yeah,
because he wasn't getting it. If he thought he was getting MGS with Death Stranding, I hate to tell him, but you're crazy.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he did.
I mean, like, what did he expect? Like, if he was not satisfied with the sales, but it sold well enough to get a sequel, maybe they're giving him.
Well, they determine that. It's not like a.
Well,
they're a
he
Sony
owns that
studio.
IP, right?
That's
or
what
does
I'm
he
saying.
own?
owns the. they're independent.
But
No, I
made
know, but
enough-
I thought I couldn't
He owns the
remember
IP.
if because that was obviously
no.
a PlayStation exclusive.
PlayStation owns the IP.
I
think.
thought so. I thought
Yeah,
that it was they own
mean,
the IP, so
You know, maybe it's just on clout alone that he's getting like the support. Like, oh, it's Kojima.
Oh,
of
100%.
course.
I think
100%.
that's definitely
It could be true,
And
but
I mean, you know, especially after everything with Konami, like everyone was like, you know, like to support Kojima.
I just-
like, you know, he's thrown out on his ass.
if he was that worried about like the I don't see him as like the person worried about the outcome. Why not just?
He just wanted to make it to exactly, and I think that's maybe he was. I think it can be a bit of both. I think he can be maybe a little bit. Maybe he was like, oh, I thought it was going to do a little bit better, but I still got to
Right.
make the thing that I wanted to make.
That's what I was saying. Like MGS3, like I said in the last episode, like it's a direct critique of MGS3. It's like, okay, like you guys, like, all right. Yeah, sorry. It was a direct critique of MGS2 that we're like, all right, we're gonna like do something totally different with MGS3. You're gonna play as Snake, and he's gonna be like, you know, kind of like a machismo, like, you know, like soldier dude, right? But like,
guy.
I mean, the plot's complex. Like, not really, I mean, around Snake, but like Snake is not the complexity of MGS3.
Right.
Whereas MGS2 and 3, or, oh my God.
3 and 4.
MGS2, 1, and 4, he more, like Snake being Solid Snake, we're playing as a different Snake there, is more of a complex character than Naked Snake is.
I just, me personally, I was just very surprised that you know Kojima would just be like, yeah. Fuck Raiden. I mean, like, I get the
Yeah,
whole...
fuck him. Yeah. I hate him
okay,
too.
I'm committed to this character.
That's what-
Actually, I don't.
Yeah, it's like, that's why they change him later, you know, in 4 and Rising Revengeance. It's like, okay, they
Yeah,
really...
so they
pivot.
make a game about Raiden.
And he's-
Platinum makes it.
He's
Right.
a fucking cyborg.
Right, I
Who the
saw
fuck are
it.
these
Yeah.
guys?
I'm edgy,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's
Yeah,
a
I'm like, you sure
full
you've seen the
pit-
trailer? I'm like, it's like 2011 or 12. It was like, you know,
It's a
like
good game,
edgy, like really different, not stealth based. Yeah. And yeah, because then they're like, all right, we're gonna do something different with Raiden. Well, he's a cyborg in MGS4, but like now we're just gonna take him to like the nth
Next
degree.
degree, yeah.
Where he's like really cool.
Fighting Ray,
Yeah.
chopping Rays up.
Yeah,
It's
chopping
like, yeah.
people in half and all sorts of bits. But anyway,
I just thought that was strange, but...
we get to Sokolov. We've made it. We stripped Rykov his uniform. We get through the guards. We're in that weapons lab that we're not allowed into otherwise.
Yep.
And a lot happens here. This is probably
big
like
cutscene.
the biggest moment like of the series. Okay, so Tanya gets something from Sokolov. We see them two together. Okay, not his lover, obviously.
Yeah, by the way,
If that wasn't clear at this point.
that wasn't to me, honestly, by that time.
Okay, yeah,
That was
yeah.
illustrative.
Yeah.
I needed that. Yeah.
She is not Sokolov's lover. Like, I don't know where that came from.
Someone says it,
Like,
because even
no,
Snake...
I know,
yeah.
but like, why that detail? Like, why do
what's
people
the-
know that?
Doesn't
Like,
Vulcan
that's
say
just
it?
her.
Yeah,
in.
well, that's what I thought.
Vol-
Vulcan's like,
doesn't-
this is his
yeah.
his
Yeah,
lover.
no, yeah. So maybe
Like, they all
Vulcan
mention
is
it, like,
convinced
for
about it.
sure.
It's
but-
either Vulcan or...
But they even, I thought,
Ocelot
mention it
says
when
it.
you're
And
getting,
Snake's like, you don't
a
seem
briefing.
like someone who would have a lover.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
confident they give it to you in the briefing. They're like,
Yeah.
yeah, he has his lover there still too,
Yeah.
or whatever with him. But I don't know.
And they're like,
it's either Ocelot or Vulcan that say like...
Vulcan definitely says it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think,
Vulcan's
yeah.
gonna-
gotta-
yeah.
It's
Oh,
his lover. It's
Sokolov's
her lover. Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe she can be my lover or something.
Yeah.
like
I mean,
that.
he does. I think I was the last bullet. He does like. I mean, yeah, he abuses her and he's sex with her. Yeah, he definitely does. Like, he's definitely doing that. So she leaves. We come in. We talk to Sokolov. Sokolov basically was like, "Yeah, the Shagohod phase 2, that's prepped. Phase 2 is." We're gonna put rocket boosters on this tank. We're gonna rocket boost the tank, and it's gonna give
launch.
not the ICBMs, but they're
It's below an intercontinental ballistic missile.
Yeah.
It's like a mid-range, whatever it is.
Right.
Like
it's gonna give
It
this
expands its range, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
It's gonna give this missile
It's a slingshot.
enough coverage to hit like the other end of the
Anything in
United
US.
States.
Yeah.
it's a tank slingshot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's when Sokolov's like, you got to destroy this place. There's C3. You can go get it. There's enough of it. You can put it all over the place.
Put it on the
You can blow
fuel
this
or-
up. That'll be
yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
But it's in this moment they're like, okay, well, Snake's like, all right, well, we got to get you out of here. He's like, nope. No, he's like, I'm not leaving. He definitely like loses hope.
He says,
for
he's
himself.
He's like, he's almost like, I don't deserve to be happy and
I'm
go
a
home with my
creator of
parents.
Yeah, I don't
weapons.
deserve to be
Or
with
go
my
with my-
family.
yeah, be
I
with my
love
family.
my family. That's the
Yeah.
part where he's like, well, like, isn't that your lover? And it's like, No.
Shit.
No.
Yeah.
He doesn't like the fact that he's a weapons. He's a scientist, but he's a weapons.
He's created this
creator,
weapon of mass destruction.
you know?
Yeah.
Someone
exactly.
is going to use.
But
a
clearly,
weapon.
like Granin
It's
wants
like
to do that.
Oppenheimer. No.
Huey does this. Huey goes through the same progression. Hal Emmerich, his son,
That's
in
a very
MGS
big-
1 and 2, does the same exact thing where he's the scientist, but he just gets used to make
Right.
Weapons.
WMDs.
Yeah.
So like,
And he even says Sokolov's like, I just want to make rockets.
Yeah.
right,
Like, yeah,
yeah,
right, yeah, like,
and
he's like-
I think that's feeding into Kojima's fascination with space. If you haven't noticed, with
Definitely,
the Fury,
yeah.
and it's always like, I just wanted to make rockets. I
Space
just wanted to go to
and-
space.
Yeah.
Space and the idea that with great I don't want to say with great power. Yeah,
comes
exactly.
with
But it's like
Whatever,
with-
Uncle Ben. All right.
with this
Where are you, Uncle Ben?
intelligence-
Talk to Sokolov.
With this intelligence, like you could use it one way because these games are anti-war. That's just what
For
they
sure,
are. They're
yeah.
anti-war. But
Yeah,
it's like
Kojima's very anti-war, which
Yeah.
is weird.
it's like you can use your intelligence. However, people are going to try to use your intelligence for what they want, and if it's a
Right.
country, it's going to be a weapon.
Right.
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 Space doesn't pay the bills.
Nope.
Doesn't pay the bills.
Bastard.
NASA knows a lot about that.
It's friggin' space.
So Volgin then shows up. Obviously, Snake puts his Rykov Max on real quick, and he's like, "Oh shit!"
That's when he grabs his penis.
and that's when Volgin
Dingling.
gropes Snake, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And then he does it again,
steps
and he's
back.
like, "What is he? Does he say something about the? Does it? I thought he
He's
just
like,
like
he's
knows.
just like, well, he's like,
like, "You're not
I
him."
know. He's like, you're
You're
not
not
whoever,
Ivan?
and I know him better
Yeah.
than anyone. or
Yeah,
something
I know
like
him
that.
better than anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't know. Does Volgin say something and Snake doesn't answer?
Yeah,
and that's why he
he's like,
grips
"What's?
him?
Hey,
He
you were
salutes
supposed
him.
to meet me in my
Right,
in my
yeah.
room.
Yeah,
What's
in
going
my-
on?"
Yep.
And then he's just standing there, and he keeps
He's
like,
like,
doing
what are you
it.
doing?
Yeah.
And it's funny because he's like, "What are you doing?" Like, he's not very mean about
No,
it.
he's like, "What's going on, honey?
Why aren't you in my room?
Yeah.
Why aren't
Honey,
you? Why aren't you
what?
ready to receive me?" And the
Maybe
boss.
he's the receiver.
Yeah, hey, Gooch, you don't know.
Oh. So the boss also walks in alongside Volgin, and that's when the boss exposes Snake. CQ sees him down, rips off his mask, calls him like a fairy,
And a little bitch.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's not-
It's like
like a fairy tale or something like that, because he's wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she like takes it off. Volgin beats the absolute shit out of Snake,
And then-
like this whole time. you
Oh,
know.
right, yeah.
Yeah, you know.
And then the
This is
boss
before the
fucking-
torture.
This is before the
Yeah.
torture.
Okay, yeah.
the boss fucking smushes Volgin real quick.
Yeah.
She gives him a little like.
What is that, judo?
Yeah, she gives
What
him-
is that, judo?
She gives him a little move.
Wait, it's a form of close quarters combat I developed with him.
It's it's like a rudimentary form or something like that.
yeah, rudimentary form of close quarters combat. Yeah,
It's just so good.
and like every scene the boss is in, the boss is like putting Ocelot and Volgin kind of like in their place.
places,
It's
yeah.
pretty funny and like almost unquestioning, to a point, and like that's where Volgin does like his trust and his confidence with the boss wanes once we get to the torture room. And that's where we wake up. Snake is being tortured. He has a mask over his face, so you just see black in the health bar. This is where Volgin will make a comment towards your body, depending on how many people you've killed and how many fights you've been in. So there's 3 steps. It's like, if you've never killed anybody and never been hit, he's like, oh, you have like a body like a newborn baby. And then like the highest one, he's like, you've seen some shit. And then there's a middle one.
And that depends on how many people you killed.
Combat, like
Oh, okay.
how much you've got
Combat.
hurt, stuff like that.
Yeah. And Volgin, before that happens, Sokolov is killed like off screen. We hear him die in that room with Snake. So Volgin.
Oh, that's him
So-
getting killed? I didn't
Sokolov's
realize
dead.
that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sokolov is dead
I
at
heard him
this
be
point.
like, oh, he died easy, but I didn't realize
Yeah,
that's who he
it's
was.
Sokolov. Yeah.
Damn.
And so it's your turn after Sokolov, and then that's when he
It's your turn.
and he continues to beat the shit out of you, comments on your body. He begins the interrogation. You can see your health go down. And Volgin is really pressing Snake on like, you're here about the Philosopher's
Yeah,
Legacy,
yeah.
right? And then he explains the whole thing. So the Philosopher's Legacy is a collection of money collected by the philosophers. The philosophers are essentially like a secret order of people.
An
all
Illuminati
around-
type?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
World leaders.
Volgin's father was a part of the philosophers, and it is a microfilm of money. So
It's
and-
like, I don't.
it is
It
like-
must be coordinates or something. This. Like
Like,
they say,
they
this is
hold
the
it.
money.
Take off a little bit of.
Yeah.
Here's
a
$20 million.
sliver.
Yeah, right.
Just
Yeah, here's a
little-
sliver.
With a tiny razor
Yeah,
blade,
exactly.
paper thin. Yeah.
With an X-Acto blade.
They always. I don't recall if they say like where it's stored, how much it actually
No, they
is.
never
This is
do.
such a classic villain thing too, where
Yeah.
he's like, "I'm gonna explain the whole
Yeah.
my plot to you.
My
I
money.
need- yeah.
You don't know what this is? Well, let me explain. Yeah.
But it's a micro, like he said, it's
Yeah,
a
a
microfilm.
microfilm
And
of some, yeah.
it's like, I always like the idea, but it's like,
What do you mean
what
that's
is
the money?
this? Yeah, what is this?
Yeah.
This is the money.
Yeah, it's a.
Do you have an expanding ray? Is this? Yeah,
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
is this
I
a
don't know
shrink-
how they
shrink
read
down?
it.
What's
It's a
going
tiny
on?
vault.
Yeah, it's
A very tiny vault.
He opens
But
it
like,
up.
not once does Volgin bring up the Shagohod. It's pretty interesting. Like, it doesn't seem to be like
Top of mind.
He's gonna use it, but it doesn't seem to be like ever in his thought process. Like,
He's a
you're
greedy little
here
fuck. Yeah.
for the Shagohod or like to destroy it. No, you're here for my money.
He's
You
more
want my
worried about
money.
his money.
He's
Yep.
greedy. Yeah.
Or
$1 million.
it's so much money that like, fuck the Shagohod. I have, I could build 800
I have an
more.
unlimited
Yeah,
right,
I have,
and that's the point. He's
Yeah.
gonna mass produce Shagohods,
But it's-
sell them to the highest bidder, use them for his own gain to propel
world
himself
in the
into
war.
Nice.
power. And it's at this point the snake's getting beats up. A transmitter falls out of him, and the boss reveals that she was tracking snakes. That's how she was then able to send the Cobra units after him. And this is where Volgin goes,
What's up?
yeah, what's going on here?
Yeah.
The boss must prove her loyalty to Volgin by removing Snake's eyes, which I guess she's pretty prepared to do. She's stopped by Tanya. What did she say? Like, oh, like he's had enough. What did she say?
It's something like that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like
so
he's had
she
enough.
intervenes,
Just basic,
and then
yeah.
Ocelot, he's off to the corner, like getting beaten off to this, which he like literally is. Ocelot accuses her again of being a spy. Like, you're messing with things. Like, what are you doing? Like, who are you? Nobody else.
I was gonna say
Volgin
it is
doesn't
funny
give a
how everyone
shit.
else is kind of like, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Well,
Yeah, whatever.
The boss knows.
of course, yeah, sure.
And she reveals that in just a second. So, and now Ocelot's gonna mess with Tanya with the bullets, flipping up, shooting it, and the one that goes off, Snake butts into her,
Yep.
loses his eye. That's how it
Okay,
happens.
so
There he
I
is.
like
yeah, you haven't seen him put the eye
I
patch.
kind
You
of
haven't,
missed it.
you haven't seen him put the eye patch on yet.
I knew he got shot somehow. I was like, wait, how'd that happen? Because I like looked down at my phone for a second.
Yep.
But yeah.
And that's Big Boss. That's it. Eye patch, bearded man. That is.
Where's
it.
his horn? How does he get the horn again in 5?
In the-
it's in
in
the
the plane
hospital,
crash.
right? Yeah.
Or in the helicopter crash. Yeah, and Tanya kind of like freaks out. Boss slaps Ocelot in the face, like, get the fuck out of here, you asshole. Like, you're an idiot.
Douche.
I'm just looking over her nose. Protects her, loses his eye. And this is where Ocelot reveals that he's gained a fancy for torture, which is something he becomes known for in the series. And in MGS1, he tortures Snake. In MGS2, he tortures Raiden. No, he doesn't. There's a torture scene in MGS2. It's not with Snake.
Not with Ryan.
Or it's not with Ocelot. Yeah, Ocelot isn't involved in that torture. But Ocelot likes to torture people. This is where it happens.
He does the who's the guy that you find in MGS1? That's like wired. You know what I mean? He's like covered. in
Yeah,
wire.
and he
I forget
tortures
what movie
Huey in MGS5 a lot. So
He's just he's a
sadist.
bastard.
He's a little bit of a
He's a
sadist.
bastard.
So, and the boss, I think Ocelot leaves at this point. The boss kind of gets like one last moment, shoots him in the leg, puts the gun in his like
Belt.
strap,
Yeah.
and run. And that's where you see the Sorrows holding up a codec frequency. It's 147.75, 0.74, something like that.
Yeah.
And then after that, the boss leaves. Tanya comes up, reveals that she's Eva, and he's like, "What? Wow!
I didn't see that
Holy
coming
shit!
at
Big, really?
I didn't see it coming whatsoever.
Wow.
I don't know why.
I guess it just didn't cross your
It just
mind.
really didn't. I was like, they're obviously the
multiple
same
people.
person. They clearly look like the same
Right,
person.
right.
But it just never
Right?
crossed.
And the
would've
fact
been
that
cool,
Ocelot's calling her out,
Right.
there
There was a lot. And I don't know how I didn't really like pick that up.
It's
at
cool
all.
though. It's like
It was a great reveal.
Yeah.
It worked very well for me.
Yeah, and then Eva tells Snake how to get out of here, and then we are taken to our cell, which is where we stopped, and which is where we would pick up with our final part of MGS3.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we got through most of the game. So yeah, the ending is there's a little bit more to go, and definitely the most lore heavy shit.
Yeah.
And definitely the most emotional parts of the game.
Yeah. The most lore meat is at the end.
Yeah.
The most game.
That's why
meat
I was
is-
like, I got
Good lore,
the,
man.
the,
Yeah.
end, the end and the beginning are the most lore. Like,
Give me all that.
the
lore. I
gameplay
love
meat
it.
is what we just covered.
Sure.
And, you know,
Yeah.
it's a great like.
It's a nice sandwich of lore and gameplay.
yeah, I was like, I didn't want to split like this part up into two parts. I know it was like long,
Yeah.
like especially
Yeah.
probably for you. It's like, oh man, Gooch really.
Well,
laid
it was
on
funny.
it.
You said the fear, and I got to the pain, or no, maybe it was because I was getting the fear, and what's the other one? The fury.
fury.
I was getting them mixed up, so I got to the fear, and I was like, I don't feel like I have that much left, and then it just kept going. I was like, oh wait,
Shit.
oh wait, yeah.
But,
So-
yeah.
It really wasn't
Go
rough
ahead.
though.
It's just it's just
Yeah.
a great, you know, like this being the most gameplay, it really has like the they lean into the jungle, a little bit of desert,
The full formula is
Yeah.
on display.
some of the
Absolutely.
facilities, you know, a lot of the different
Yeah, a lot of
pieces.
different environment
Environments,
types.
yeah.
I know you're in a jungle for a while, but then the game
Then you
kinda
get more
opens
urban,
up.
yeah.
We will go back to the jungle, so if you
course,
missed
yeah.
it, we'll
It's
we'll-
really-
we'll
Absolutely.
go back
I
to
did
it.
miss a lot of the mushrooms and stuff. I didn't realize you could even pick those up.
Yeah.
They're kind of hidden,
And even like
they're
so, what
really-
do you have to do that with nothing in your hand or something? Because I
you
did
can-
walk
you
up
can,
to
like,
them at
knife
one
it or
point.
shoot it.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I walked up to one at some
Or
point and I was
force it.
trying to interact with it, and I was like, these feel like they look like I should pick them up.
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
guess you were supposed to. So
No,
interesting.
you don't
They're
have
food.
to.
No, of
Yeah,
course,
just
yeah.
food.
They're decent.
Anything else, gentlemen?
No, I mean
that tastes awful.
I have a stomach ache.
Did you throw up?
No, I didn't get to that.
If you spin around in a circle fast enough, you can throw up.
Interesting.
if you don't eat enough, your stomach growls and you get spotted.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but guys, any final thoughts before we leave off?
No, I don't think so. I think we covered everything. It was a lot of fun. I got to say,
I
so
was,
far,
I was
I'm
gonna say,
glad.
how are you
yeah.
enjoying it?
I'm glad I'm getting this under my gaming belt,
Yeah,
if you will.
yeah,
So
what
it's
do you
been
think?
Because this
it's
is
been nice.
your first time too.
Yeah, I'm really liking it. I you know what's funny? I got really frustrated the last time I played in Groznyj Grad, so I feel like I need to I'm looking forward to going back, like, you know, away from that session where I was like, oh my god, like I'm gonna
Sometimes you just need to put it down for a little bit.
yeah, I'm really looking forward
Any
to like
game.
finishing out the game, like
Yeah.
getting to the end and being
Yeah.
like that last fight,
awesome,
that's
yeah.
last fight. We're almost there. Anything? How's the Switch going?
This was much better. Much better. I haven't had any problems.
All right, well,
since.
it's good to
But,
hear.
And neither have I.
you know, there
No,
was
I haven't had any either.
since the
Master
last time we
Collection.
played, there was that update.
Right.
So it,
So
whatever
it kind
it
of
must have-
smooth things out a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's good to hear.
But yeah, it's great part, great session. You know, the end is gonna be.
Real random sidebar. I saw a video today of someone trying to play Arkham Knight, the collection, on their Switch.
Oh my god.
Probably looks like
It was bad. It was
Potato,
just chugging
like, yeah.
everywhere.
Oh
Bad.
Oh
It was
my
not good.
god. It's like Witcher on the Switch. It's like, why would you even?
See, that seems to work a little bit better though. Like that at least seems to run smoothly. Like my buddy was playing, or one of my old coworkers was playing it on there. I was like, "How is it?" And you know, he's not like a gamer, but he was like, "It runs pretty well." Like I haven't noticed any
Can
issues.
we trust him?
You know, I love the Switch, and I was just thinking about this the other day. You know, they put this game on the 3DS.
Yeah.
It played on.
No,
the
I was
3DS.
gonna
that
say
is
it
true.
should have no issue playing on that
The
type
fact
of
that there was even anything really surprised me. Like
Yeah.
sometimes there's a little stutter here and there, and that could be like because
just
of the,
transitioning it over or something. Yeah,
whatever it
porting
is. But no, besides
Awesome.
that, all good.
All right,
I'm looking
gents.
forward to
Filleting it.
I'm looking forward to finishing it up.
Absolutely.
Like especially like the end. I don't know. Like it's
I know nothing, so I'm excited.
Oh,
The way you guys
you're-
getting
it's
excited
about to
now,
get
I'm
interesting.
excited.
You, like it's
getting
been-
infectious.
It's really been building up. Like, you know, like the snakes.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Trepidation towards this whole thing. I know
Right.
he's not like outwardly talking to you about how he feels, but like obviously like the boss, him killing the boss is not something he wants to do.
And they even get to that like where Ava's like, "Can you kill the boss?" Right? At one,
Yeah,
like, she's
can
like,
you
even
can
do
you
it?
do this? And
If
he's
you're
like,
feeling any
oh,
connection,
dude, I totally forgot about that conversation. Thank you for bringing that up. I think at like some point I was taking so many notes that it just kind of got away from
Yeah.
me. Yeah, you know, when he explains like what's your relationship with her, and he's like, yeah,
like a mother and stuff. Like she trained me.
but it's like more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like a mother and my master. Yeah, and
Mother,
and,
lover,
and
my-
Eva tries to like make out with him, and he's just like, I got a mission to do. Like we don't,
I can't do this.
we don't have time for this.
What's this? What do you mean? This is kissing. Oh, okay.
Not now.
Not now.
The
Later.
mission. I'm a soldier.
if you have any connection to this game so far, like if you feel like you're into it gameplay wise or story wise, you know, by the end, the end of this game is just, it really
Ties it together in a great way, like a satisfying conclusion.
Oh yeah.
All right, I'm excited.
Possibly satisfying.
it digs you. It's salt. It's like as
Digs at you.
sour as it could be.
It kind of
Bittersweet.
it's
if you will.
the jumping off point for the character of Big Boss is really
The
what this
best.
is.
Interesting.
My man.
And you see what how
You
he
definitely hear them
becomes.
mention like the boss in the other game too. In 5,
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah,
here and
they
there.
talk. Yeah. But it's we'll talk about
Yeah,
it. We'll talk
absolutely.
about it.
All right,
get there.
gentlemen. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you all so much if you've been with us live on twitch.tv/Delco Nerd Network. We really appreciate your time. You can find this podcast anywhere podcasts are found. Just search Delco Nerd Network. We're on all the social media pages as well, at Delco Nerds on basically everything. We got a Facebook page, Discord channel, all that good stuff will be linked down below. You can even email us your comments, questions, or concerns to delconerds@gmail.com. We'd be happy to get back to you, and you can find all this information on our website, delconerdnetwork.com. For Gooch, for Fred, I've been Trio. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay nerdy, and we will see you next time.